Really grown on me is the intro song.
I love it. I told you, it makes you feel good. It's upbeat. It's a Friday, but this is officially the new intro for the show. If you haven't picked up on that, we got our outro, we got our intro. We're good to go. It's Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you on a Red Friday. Drew got the memo. I appreciate it. At least somebody was listening at the end of the show yesterday. I say, hey, Red Friday, let's wear red, because it's Red Friday. I'm wearing red if you watch this on video.
Red Friday. I'm not
Drew's
obligated.
wearing red. Now it's Wisconsin Badgers red because the Badgers play against Purdue
That's
tonight.
right.
But still, he's wearing red. I thought you were going to at least have a red undershirt.
red on the shirt. You know what I'm doing? Supporting local businesses.
Oh, so am I. But,
I'm supporting local businesses.
I almost wore the KU shirt today, but I'll save that for Monday after they beat BYU. But today we'll go.
Confident for a team that just barely beat Nevada.
I have BYU to cover the 10, but KU can win. They just need to make sure BYU covers. That's all. But no, it's Red Friday. It's weird. We don't do many shows when it's dark outside, but it's one of those rainy days. Hopefully, by the time we get to Sunday, everything will clear out. It'll be a great setting out at Arrowhead when the Chiefs welcome in the Chicago Bears, and we will have a big-time Chicago Bears fan join us here in about 30 minutes. He just so happens to be a member of the Kansas City Royals as well. You guys know Michael
He's our
Massey.
Bears insider.
He's our Bears insider, Michael Massey. It's been a bit since we had Michael on the show, but diehard Bears fan, you guys know that, and we'll get a little update from him, check in, talk a little Chiefs-Bears with him as, I think, the last time we had him on might have been, I don't even know, definitely a couple months.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that feels right. It's at least been, I'm trying to think now.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
It's been a couple of months.
A bit.
Massey been playing a lot better. They made that one play, I was just thinking a couple weeks ago. I almost thought about having him on right after he made that play with Bobby Witt when he was up the middle and flipped it to Bobby and they got the out at first. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I like that infield defense. But either way, Massey, who has filled in for Vinny as our NFL insider a couple of times, is also an avid, as you know, Bears fan. So I'm looking forward to his breakdown of what's currently happening in Chicago.
We'll have Michael at 10:30. Pete Sweeney, our Chiefs insider, at 11 o'clock. We'll also give away a pizza thanks to our friends over at the other place as well. That's coming up around 11:50 or so. But when we look at this game, it does feel like one of those where you should, from a fan perspective, okay, just stress-free type of performance overall. But let's play out a hypothetical for a second. 913-586-7610. If the Chiefs on Monday morning were sitting here, somehow lost this game, what are you saying on Monday if that actually occurred about this football team?
Oh, it's beyond Chicken Little at that point. If in their first 3 games, and again, I assume they are not scoring if they're losing to Chicago, they have very little offensive confidence to speak of, and they actually lose to the Bears, I think it would be sort of appropriate to be like, okay, remember when we were all picking them to defend their Super Bowl championship and win it? Well, a lot is going to have to change if that's the case. This is, right now, I don't know, the second or third worst team in the entire NFL. This is not like losing to the Colts on the road a year ago. Or when they, eked one out against one of the worst teams in the league that year against Arizona. They won that game at least a couple of years ago. They've played close against bad teams, but lose? We come in here on Monday, it's going to be bleak, dude. Times will be dark.
Yeah, I think it would mean that, once again, the Chiefs completely beat themselves, like they did in Jacksonville, but to an extreme that it would also require the defense regressing, right? It would take this team, once again, having double-digit penalties, this team having multiple turnovers, and it would take the offense still struggling,
and maybe the defense
while the defense takes a step back. That, to me, is what it would have to be the Chiefs doing it to themselves, far more than it would Chicago just playing an incredible game of football. The Bears, I agree with you. Other than the Cardinals, I think the Bears are the worst team in football. I think the Cardinals, while they've looked better, I still think they're worse than Chicago based on talent on the overall roster. But everything that's gone on this week, I think for Kansas City, it's just don't beat yourself up like you did in Jacksonville. You were very fortunate to go down there and win. Now, this is a much worse football team you're playing, but the formula is simple. It's maybe there's injuries, it's the defense regressing, it's penalties, it's turnovers, everything going wrong type of scenario. Although I've told you, I think this will be a closer game than some people believe. I think everybody has a natural reaction with everything that's gone on this week and just wants to say it's going to be a 20-plus point win. Those are still very rare in the NFL. I don't care how bad you are. You know how hard it is to win by 20-plus points in the NFL? It does not happen all that often. It's extremely difficult. Heck, we brought up the stat yesterday, Cody. Mahomes, when he's a double-digit favorite, He only covers that 13, in this case 12.5. He only covers that 35, 39% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, teams in general, we know, I mean, this has been a long stated fact. The most common margin of victory in the NFL is 3 points.
Yeah, key number 3.
Telling you, and the next key number is obviously 6.5 because 7 is the next most common margin of victory across there because that's the general scoring. One score, right? That's typically how these games go, even against good or bad teams. I understand the line is high, but I'm telling you, if we walk in here, I wanted to do this exercise because I know you preach patience. I preach patience, maybe a little less than you, but still some.
Yeah.
In the hey, let's really diagnose if this is a serious problem, if we actually need to be worried. But if they lose to Chicago, there is a serious problem. There's a real fix that needs to occur, barring, I don't an injury in the game that would justify it, you know? From this, I would feel slightly better, I guess, is if they lost in some 17-14 game than if all of a sudden they lost, but it was the defense's fault this time and they gave up 30 to Chicago. To be like, okay, so we're not going to be good on either side of the ball for a while, or what's the problem here? But I still that's why I feel like it's so impossible. I feel like it's impossible. We're going to show up here on Monday and be talking about it
this. This is a worse team than the Colts last year that the Chiefs lost to, and that was on the road, and that was a lower scoring game as well, and that took what? It took special teams turnovers, it took lack of offense, and everything kind of coming together with some mistakes penalty-wise late in the game as well. This Bears team is much worse than that, and there's not one single area I think you can point to on Chicago's roster where you're like, man, you know what? They actually have an edge. I mean, there's none.
There's
not a single spot, period, on their entire team. Not the coach matchup for sure. No. Not the quarterback. No. Not the tight end. No. Not the wide receivers. DJ Moore's great, but they're not even utilizing him properly, I think, at this point in time.
Not the running backs.
Nope.
Not the
and
line.
Defense, not at all on defense. So it's the NFL. Upsets happen. But this is a game where I don't think you should be stressing out too much. I think it might be closer than people think, but I don't think you're going to be stressing out coming in here on Monday and the world's coming to an end. No,
I just wonder whether I do think it'd be hard not to feel that way against the Bears. You're right. I have a hard time imagining this. And somebody's like, I bet Nagy's circled this thing. I wouldn't put that out of the question. He finished above 500 for that team, and they still kicked his ass out. And they've done nothing but be worse since that man left. So I don't think that's out of the question. But it says unless our D just shuts down the Bears offense, which that's not out of the question. But if they struggle against this Bears defense, there's no matchup in which the Bears defense is good against the Chiefs. They're bad against zone and man. They have the second fewest sacks in the NFL. Meanwhile, the Chiefs have allowed the second fewest sacks in the NFL, or the fewest sacks in the NFL. There's no, like you said, there's no decided advantage. So if for some reason we show up here on Monday and they've beaten them, I'm gonna be pretty bleak about what is going to need to be fixed. And then I'm gonna be the first guy to bring up okay, so if they had to trade, who could they possibly target to fix what is a glaring weakness at this point? Because it's going to be hard not to feel that way with a loss against the Bears. That's all. Just going to feel hard that way. I was just seeing that retweet from Adam Schefter. How great was it, just quickly last night, how great was it that Andrew Luck showed up in that old-time Civil War uniform?
Well, because there was the Twitter account for many years. Well, I mean, just making sure. I know you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody listening knows, but there was a Twitter account. That's what you're referencing, right? Where it was basically Captain Andrew Luck. And for many years before games, it would tweet out as if he was a captain of, during the Civil War. Okay. That's basically what it was. And it was funny. It was a great Twitter account. Last night during Amazon's broadcast, Andrew Luck showed up wearing that outfit. So, yeah, it was very well done. He lives out in the California area. And, of course, the game was in Santa Clara last night. So that made sense.
I'm still mad that they just decided not to protect that man in any sense of the way. They're like, you know what? We're just gonna have the world's worst offensive line hurt him so bad that he'll just want to retire and never be in the NFL.
Good for him, though, honestly. I don't want to way too off topic, but good for Andrew Luck. Being able to step away, obviously financially is still set, and realize that, he just didn't have the desire to play and wanted to make sure physically that he was able to enjoy the rest of his life. Good for him. You know how difficult of a decision I'm sure that was? There was a whole profile piece on him maybe a year or so ago that came out and really went into detail about his thought process with it and everything. And obviously it put the Colts in a terrible spot, but The Colts can cut any player they want and put a player in a terrible spot.
The Colts put the Colts put themselves in a terrible spot by not protecting a man to the point that he felt like he had to retire from football. It's not like Andrew Luck did them dirty because he left. He left because of you. It was your fault. This is like being in a relationship and you just treat someone like trash for 2 years and you're like, well, I'm in a really bad spot now because I don't have a date to this wedding because my wife left me. And you're like, no, you did it by treating them like garbage.
Well, and not to say that Anthony Richardson is that talented from a throwing perspective, but I think people have the same idea, the same thought process is, look, the guy likes to take hits. He's already got knocked out of a game. He's got a concussion, and he might not play this weekend. It's his third NFL game.
Oh, man. I still feel bad for Luck, but I just thought it was fun for him to lean into the bit. That's all.
Thinking of quarterbacks, though, in mobility, yesterday we played you the audio of Justin Fields saying that basically he needs to just say F it and go out and play and use his athletic ability. This is why I do think you're going to see him take off and use that ability more than he has the first 2 weeks. I think when you have your comments that you make about your offensive coordinator and your coaching staff, I do expect them to run with Fields either through design runs or Fields just to take off. And this is where the linebacking core is going to be important. And we know right now Nick Bolton's still banged up for the Chiefs, but his rushing total, Fields, is 61.5 for the game, which is a very high number for a quarterback. But
Huge number.
But I don't think it's that nuts, right? I mean, don't you think that one of the keys for the Chiefs, if you are diving deeper into the game a little bit, is finding a way to contain the athleticism for Fields? Make him throw the football. That's where he's uncomfortable. He's uncomfortable in the pocket. He's double clutching the football in the pocket and questioning himself. He claims there's too many voices in his head right around the line of scrimmage when he's trying to diagnose a defense, or dissect a defense, I should say. And so I think he is going to just be willing, if there's an opportunity throughout the entire game, to take off and run. That's the only way I could see early on in the game, if the Bears are able to move the ball and the Chiefs have to make some adjustments, I could see it be because Fields is able to take off with his feet and get a couple third down conversions with his legs, and then the Chiefs have to pivot a little bit.
I wanted to look up just where he was last year when he was playing like a better quarterback. I know people didn't like that he only threw for 2,500 yards last year and ran for almost 1,200.
Yeah, what was it, like 1120 something?
1143 and 8 touchdowns. It's wild to me, and I understand you in the long run. It's like, hey, a quarterback has to pass. But taking away their single greatest asset while they're young and capable of using that asset is silly. He ran for 76 yards a game last year. So do I think an over-under of 61.5 is crazy? No, not the way he's talking this week, because they got to let the man loose. He was trying a little too hard on the sideline yesterday. Some camera caught him, and then he was like hugging his offensive coordinator and waving
waved
to the camera and all this stuff. And it's like, no, come on, stop it. Stop it. We're not doing that. You're leaning in too far to the bit. But yes, it's like the only thing to actually fear about Chicago, if we're being honest. Justin Fields is a dynamic runner. He could run for 150 yards on you. Your starting linebacker, Nick Bolton, didn't start yesterday. I know that Spags talked about if Tranquil could fill in that need, but no one can fill in for Bolton on this defense. He is their leading tackler. He's one of the leading tacklers in the NFL. He's one of the better tackling linebackers in the NFL. Turns out you'd like that guy when you're going against an elite-level rushing quarterback. But they're going to actually have to decide to switch to that mode because he's averaging like 30 yards a game right now. And last week in the game, he had one singular designed run. That's it. How do you have one designed run for a guy who averaged almost 8, who averaged 7 yards a carry last year and 76 yards a game?
My guess is there'll be way more designed runs, but then I'll see what does Spags have in store for him, though, right? What's their kind of counterpunch to what I expect a Bears offense probably to show some things they didn't show at all the first 2 weeks, not just with Justin Fields' design runs. My guess is you're going to see, and this is what makes them early in the game a team that maybe has more success than you think early until the Chiefs adjust. I'm guessing there's going to be plenty of things that the Bears haven't shown yet, not intentionally, just that they got to pivot because it's not working. They're in Chicago, and they're desperate. That team is desperate. They're about to be 0-3. Their DC resigned this week. Their head coach is on the hot seat. Their quarterback is in a make-or-break type of season. I mean, it's
blaming coaching.
Yeah, so I think we'll see a completely different look from the Bears early on, and that'll be interesting to see if the Chiefs can counter. What does Spags have up his sleeve to try to get, whether it's involving Chenal a little bit later on, we'll talk about him, getting him to blitz off the edge. I'm pretty sure that they will have a counterpunch. Spags is pretty damn good adjusting in game, even if on that first drive. Like if you're predicting what's going to happen, first drive, it would not surprise me at all if the Bears actually do move the ball in the first drive of the game. Just completely different look that they haven't seen maybe yet.
Like if I were the Chiefs, I'd be scouting looks from last year. Not what they've been doing these first 2 games, because they can't keep going down. They can't keep paddling up that river. Because if they play this poorly all season, they're going to have the conversation about whether or not they have to draft another quarterback in the top 5 again.
They shouldn't even just have a conversation. That should be an automatic at that point. They should clean house as far as the coaching staff and have to go draft another quarterback. If this thing goes completely south for the Bears the way it's trending, yeah, Justin Fields, to me, heck, Cody, you could have made an argument they should have drafted a quarterback this year. But they chose to stick with Justin Fields. That's their guy.
I also think that they're partially to blame for what's happening with him. They have given him, for 2 years, they gave him no resources. They gave him no offensive line, and he's bad. He holds on the ball too long. He does not help the offensive line. But they've given him no offensive line help, and until they finally went with more, they gave him no help at wide receiver. They finally added more, but that's not even going to help him in this game. You know why? Because Trent McDuffie is going to cover him a huge chunk of the game, and Trent McDuffie barely gets targeted in the NFL. I'll tell you right now, it's one of those, like we say it on this show, but you should really know it. If somebody is trying to question your Chiefs knowledge from outside the city and they're like, wait, is Trent McDuffie really that good? Yes. The only reason other people don't know who he is in football is because they never throw at him. He's not in a single highlight. He does not get targeted. Teams avoid him every single snap. He's just not he's not a 9 interception guy, which very few are. He's not a 6 interception guy yet, so you don't see his name called very often. They don't throw at him, so even the more thing doesn't help. They're going to have to use his legs. They don't have a choice. I feel like that's one of those lines. If you're making me bet it, I'd avoid it.
Yeah, it sounds like they're changing their running back depth chart a little bit. There's reports that maybe Roshan Johnson could get the start over Herbert. So they're getting this is desperation. You're going to get everything possible from the Bears on Sunday. That's the only part that gives you any hesitation.
There's going to be a double reverse flea flicker pass by Roshan Johnson.
I just think you have to
be aware of the trick play because it's coming.
Yeah, I mean, Dave Toub has to have the special teams unit ready because whether it's a fake punt, which the Chiefs have already had on one by the Lions in week 1, fake punt or an onside kick, something like that is coming on Sunday from the Chicago Bears.
There's also one other thing, because it all just feels like a theme of, here's the things to avoid if you don't want us coming in here on Monday talking about a massive upset. I wrote an article for Arrowhead Premier. One of my 3 keys to the game was penalties. I mean, let's just be honest. Andy Reid's teams have had issues before. Don't you remember when we went over this like maybe a year ago? And I told you how often Andy Reid's teams are penalized. And it's not like something we're going to fix. When they are penalized and going through a stretch of penalties, they don't fix it. They just keep getting penalized.
Yeah, but last year they actually were pretty good.
They were. I said in any given year. That's what I was saying a couple of years ago when we had this conversation. The fact that 75% of the penalties in this last game were on the offensive line definitely makes it feel more fixable than not. Jawan Taylor was at the podium yesterday, and even he's admitting that he's already working on it this week.
Definitely just been working on it this week to clean it up. Definitely know that's a problem that needs to be fixed. Good thing I have a great group of coaches around me to help me fix it. Also, just staying poised throughout the game and not, staying even keeled, not letting it get the best of me. But definitely working to fix it. And, that's pretty much it.
Usually when you say that, that means it did get the better of you. Somewhere in that game, you're like, what the hell? And that's why Andy's got to pull you to the side and you got to do these things.
Well, I think it was clear it got to him. The fact that the sequence that occurred that resulted in Andy having him stand next to him. I mean, it wasn't a situation where Andy tried to cover in postgame and say, no, we were just, something else happened. Andy was pretty honest about what was occurring for Jawan, a combination of being back home and in front of a bunch of fans and just, yes, there were the heat and everything as well, but that wasn't the reason why there were false start penalties. I just think they have to help him along. We said it on Monday's show. They have to really help Jawan Taylor adjust to how the league now and refs are going to be keying in on him. And hopefully it's something that dwindles later on in the season. But I do think right now, and this applies for this Sunday, even against Chicago, if you're an official, you know that they're going to be keeping an eye on Jawan Taylor more than anybody else on that offensive line for either team. And so that's an adjustment he's going to have to make. And I expect, based off of how Andy has spoke this week about penalties in general, I'll be stunned if you see anywhere near the type of numbers penalty-wise that you saw last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I would too. I guess at this point, I have to assume that they're going to be able to clean this up. It'd be really hard for me if I were Jawan Taylor, from just him specifically. The other penalties are a problem too. Donovan Smith can't have critical holding penalties, and they got called for pass interference in the last game. They've just got to be a less penalized team, especially while the offense kind of sorts through these things. They can't have the penalty that sets them back to 3rd and 15 and solve it with their wide receivers right now. They can't have these drives extended for no reason. It's not like Chicago. I did see that Chicago's like currently 66% of their drives end in have either a penalty or a turnover in it or a sack. It's just like 14 of their 22 drives have had a sack, a turnover, or a penalty. And you're like, okay, so you just have no chance of moving the ball. I do think that I would have a little hesitancy to fix the false start part of this if I were Taylor, because his success rate is higher than anyone else's in football from a pass protection standpoint. I got to be honest, if he got called for one false start a game, let's just say he did it the same way he did and he got called for one a game, but he is 98% effective in pass blocking. I'm not so sure at that point the trade-off isn't worth it.
Right, but the problem is we said that going into last week's game. We said, hey, they can't call it every play. Well, the problem is they called it like 4 or 5 times. So I'm with you if it's just one. But right now, maybe we get there again later on in the season where the attention's not there. I think right now there's too much of a spotlight on him. He probably can't.
Because if he gets called 3 or 4 times a game, then the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Maybe later on in the year, it's something that he can, quote unquote, get away with. I don't know if he can right now with all the attention that he's getting. I mean, there's no coach in the league that isn't well aware of the Juwan Taylor alignment / false start, right? I mean, last week, Doug Peterson brought it up. Every coach always pinpoints things about opponents that they see on tape that they think they're taking advantage of. But nobody has been discussed more probably 3 weeks in as an offensive lineman with officials than Juwan Taylor.
No.
And that's a problem. It sucks for him.
Trent Williams punched a guy in the face last night, and he's been discussed.
He did not get ejected.
What's with NFL refs? Just, look, can I have, like Drew does What's Bugging Me on Monday? Can I have it for a Friday? They have now twice this week. I watched something that I know for a fact is an ejectable offense because they have ejected people for it and made a point that it's an ejectable offense, which is Trent Williams closed a fist, cocked back his arm, and threw it into the face of a player. And then after the game, they're like, nah, we didn't have a clear view of that. I'm like, I watched it in slow-mo. He definitely did it. And then the other one where Deshaun Watson physically moved a referee out of the way to go after a play, and they're like, nah, we didn't see it that way. I'm like, but again, I watched it. So what like they can never, it's the same thing. Admit you don't have to admit you're wrong. Just be like, yeah, that was a penalty. Doesn't matter. You don't have to say I'm wrong. You don't have to feel that bad about it.
Yeah, we've had this discussion about officials post-game. I don't know if it's going to ever change. I will say with the Trent Williams situation, surprised he wasn't ejected. My guess, the reason why he didn't get ejected, not because they didn't see it, but because if you watch it, you notice that the defender for the opponent also right before kind of used a closed fist and punched him. My guess is they're like, well, we'll just offset this thing and we're not ejecting both players. So I think they're going to do anything possible to avoid ejecting players from a football game when possible.
Just eject them both. They both committed the violation.
Right. I'm surprised. I don't know. Are you more just, hey, admit you were wrong? Or are you saying you just want players ejected more? Because I'm surprised to hear you say, take some of the best players on earth out of sporting events. Like you're just you hate the targeting rule in college, right?
This is the same as the sports betting rule for me. It's very clear. You should not be ejected for just any reason. If you close a fist and you throw it at another player, you're gone. I'm sorry. I know that it's a football game and you get heated. If you close a fist and you throw it,
so you think both of them should have been ejected?
Yes.
Then? Okay. That's what I was asking.
Football play is very difficult. The targeting thing, I hate how often they get rid of players in college football games. It's also way harder because it is an active football play. Trent Williams throwing a fist after the play is not a football play.
That's why they want 2 levels of targeting. One where if there's clear intent, like the guy for Colorado State, for example, didn't hit him in the head, but it was targeting, you're ejected.
Yeah, I get it. This is why the text line's right. It's always subjective on some of this stuff. I'm with you on, hey, the officials don't ever admit that they were wrong after games, and I don't know if that's going to change. I'm never going to be upset that players didn't get kicked out of football games. I'm just not. Like, you're never going to find me.
I wish those guys were
that's just not my thing. I don't
you're
care
fine
if
with just charge them money later.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying that someone should be able to just go beat the crap out of somebody during a football game, but when we're talking about athletes at this level and the emotions of a game, and if both players in that case, this wasn't Jose Ramirez and what's his name for Tim Anderson squaring up in boxing in a baseball game. Okay, you got to kick them out. Which, by the way, Ramirez did not get kicked out of that baseball game.
No,
Tim Anderson did. Ramirez did not. They both punched. So it's always
they both got suspended.
It's always subjective.
You're allowed to defend yourself. If somebody throws a punch at you, I do think you're allowed.
Well, then in that case, Trent Williams, he got punched first. So what I'm saying, it's always very subjective, and I never want the reason why we're watching games, unless it's something where you think you can't make an excuse whatsoever for it. I will always side on, let's find a way to make sure we don't kick players out of sporting events, because that's not what we're not watching to have the best players not on the field. That's just where I'm at. That's why I hate the targeting rule in college football too. Coming up next, though, let's talk more about the Chiefs and Bears with a diehard Bears fan that just so happens to play for the Kansas City Royals. Michael Massey tells us about the Bears and Chiefs on Sunday.
Cody and Gold on 610 Sports Radio, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. All you got to do is place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel for this football season, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is super easy to use, and you got a wide spread of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. And I love the boost. Great bonus options from FanDuel. So visit FanDuel.com, use my promo code CDOT, and kick off this NFL season. FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL, and also 610 Sports Radio. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expires 7 days after retreat. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Score big savings with Hy-Vee and the Kansas City Chiefs. Big points mean even bigger savings. Just shop Hy-Vee the day after a game and earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score and based on the amount you spend. If the Chiefs score 42 points, you save 42 cents a gallon with any $42 purchase. The more we score, the more you save. Win or lose, everyone scores the day after a Chiefs game only at Hy-Vee.
Offer valid in store only with lookup code 95345. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
You already get your groceries delivered from Hy-Vee, and that's great. But did you know you could also get your food delivered too? As in catered food? Give yourself a break from all the prepping, cooking, and the terrible, awful cleanup. Let Hy-Vee take care of your next get-together, graduation or watch parties, weddings, and holiday celebrations. Hy-Vee is happy to bring you the best food for breakfast, lunch, or dinner while you sit back and take all the credit. Contact Hy-Vee to cater your next event today. Voted Kansas City's best grocer.
Want a new car at a used car price? I'm Jeff Davis, owner of Volkswagen Lee Summit. Right now, we have a surplus of new cars, so everything is seriously discounted.
Get up to $4,000 off the 23 Taos, $5,000 off the 23 Tiguan, $6,000 off the 23 Atlas, and up to $10,000 off the ID4 EV. Hurry in before we run out of 2023s.
Don't miss our surplus sale at the #1 Volkswagen dealer in the Midwest. Visit VWLeeSummit.com.
Based on 2022 VW retail reports, financing through VCIOAC. Call 816-841-7383 for details.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
It's tailgate season and Smokehouse Barbecue has you covered. Whether you plan on going to a game or having the party at your house, Smokehouse Barbecue will be there with you. Plus, you can take advantage of their game day special. A slab of baby back ribs, a pound of burnt ends, a pound of wings, a quart of beans, paperware, and servings for $6, all for just $79.95. They also have private banquet rooms at all 3 KC locations. Check them out at SmokehouseBBQ.com. It's Smokehouse Barbecue.
What does it mean to be the official information technology provider for the Chiefs? It means everything. Technology Group Solutions makes sure everything runs flawlessly for the millions of fans that attend games and the hundreds of millions of fans that comprise Chiefs Kingdom around the world. Technology Group Solutions can deploy that same dedication, problem solving, and incredible service to ensure your business runs smoothly. Technology Group Solutions, powering Chiefs Kingdom, and ready to do the same for you.
Well, it's Carrington from the drive-thru. You know what I like to do after the show? I like to just relax a little bit. I like to go somewhere, have a nice bite to eat, make sure I can watch the game, and just relax. The perfect place to do that is at the other place. They've got televisions all across the bar, so I never miss a second of the action. Plus, they got amazing Red Friday specials like $6 select appetizers, $5 Kona Big Waves at all the locations. So stop by one of the 3 locations, Shawnee, Olathe, and downtown Overland Park. Plus, they have 2 new locations opening up in Mission and Belton.
You'd do anything to keep your vehicle happy. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, the parts that fit are just a click away. Just look for the green check. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Old Shawnee Pizza has expanded to the Crossroads with their OSP Express. Go to ospexp.com to order and use any third-party delivery system. Located in the Crossroads food stop at 16th and Campbell. Go to ospexp.com to order. Old Shawnee Pizza, now 3 locations.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Football is back, and so is Cash the Ticket. Jim Costa with Mike Valeni every week this fall. That's picks, parlays, and that's sweet, sweet value, Cactus included, on all the NFL and college football matchups. Full breakdowns on the biggest games, but if you have a life, you don't have 45 minutes to spare, we've got you. We're the most on-demand podcast. We're catered to you and the teams you love. That's Cash the Ticket. Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Max Motors. 9 major vehicle brands to choose from. MaxMotors.com.
I can't thank Max Motors enough. They got me in a vehicle within my budget.
You're welcome, Alicia. We got her the best interest rates, and we can do that for you too. Make the smart choice. Buy with Max Motors. MaxMotors.com. See dealer for details.
All right, just getting started on a Red Friday. It's Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapter, Nixon with you. Pete Sweeney coming up in about 25 minutes, our Chiefs insider. We'll get his perspective on the health of this football team heading into Sunday's game against the Chicago Bears. And we wanted to get a little Bears perspective as well. And we were trying to figure out the last time we had Michael Massey on the show. We realized during the break, I think the last time was right after Massey got engaged when he was in Chicago. So whenever you get engaged or whenever the Chiefs are playing the Bears, that's when Michael Massey joins us here on the show. What's going on, man? Good to have you back on. Are you fired up for the game? But something tells me with the way things are trending, maybe that's not the case.
No, it's great to be on. Thanks for having me on, and hopefully I'm on for more Bears talk, and hopefully I'm only on one time for getting engaged. But no, I'm not. We had our clubhouse guy, Pat Gorman, was talking to me before we left. He's like, "Hey, I haven't heard you talk any smack yet this week," and I was like, "And you're not going to hear me talk any smack. going to be 27-3 in the beginning of the second quarter. I don't think it's going to be great, and I don't like saying that as a Bears fan, but I do tend to. I live in reality, so I don't think it's going to be a great one for us.
I think when we did talk to you in the offseason, at that point it was pre-draft as well. I think maybe even off-air, just about, hey, the Bears, like the way they went about the draft, and they traded these draft picks, and they can control the draft, and everything seemed like they were heading in the right direction. They get DJ Moore. Where do you think it's gone wrong? Like, who do you think is kind of to blame? I mean, Justin Fields is out here talking about the coaching staff a little bit this week too.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's a little bit too early as a Bears fan to like panic. I know a lot of people are freaking out, but I mean the reality is going into this season, I don't think anybody was like the Bears are going to start 2-0. I mean, I think obviously people thought it was going to be a little better than it was the first 2 weeks, but I think there is that development time that Fields is going to need with, again, DJ Moore, and to get comfortable. And a lot of people in that building, I feel like, are still so new that everyone's kind of trying to find themselves a little bit. I have a feeling Fields' comments got taken a little bit out of context. I didn't see the whole thing. I just kind of saw him making a joke of it yesterday at practice where he was hugging Getsy and everything.
Seems like too much, we said, Massey. We were saying it seems like a little too much, like going over the top now to make it seem like they actually are completely buddy-buddy.
I agree. It's certainly like there is something going on. There's definitely some smoke there, but I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think the thing that Bears fans, I know from, again, just being a Bears fan my whole life, is how many, it's got to be the system, I feel like, at some point, because it's like they keep putting talented quarterbacks. You can't argue that Fields isn't a talented player. I mean, everyone watched him at Ohio State. Everyone watched him at the Combine. I mean, you can argue the Mitch Trubisky, Patrick Mahomes stuff to your blue in the face. Not that it's much of an argument, but just, again, it's not like Trubisky wasn't a good physical quarterback. So clearly something that's going on with the Bears system is just not working over the last, I don't know, maybe the entire franchise, but the existence of the franchise as far as the quarterback goes. So that's where I think I'm just, and again, I'm not like a football guru when it comes to understanding the ins and outs of that stuff, but I think that's as a fan where I begin to question like how many guys are we going to quote unquote miss on? Well, it seems like a lot of other teams, how do the 49ers take a guy with the last pick in the draft, and he's 25 for 32 last night for 310 yards with 2 touchdowns, and it's like we're watching a guy who could have been a Heisman Trophy candidate in Justin Fields at Ohio State, is struggling to throw for over 200 yards in a given game. So again, part of that is like, is that Fields? Is that the coaching? Is that the franchise? And I always go back, like Mahomes is a great quarterback, and obviously him and Reed and that KC offense have figured something out. And again, it's that question of like, how much is it a system? How much is it a player? So, there's a lot of questions in Chicago, and your mind goes to dark places as a Bears fan usually.
When you look at the way that they've played, I'll be honest, I don't see a single matchup that favors Chicago, maybe other than Justin Fields' legs. Can you explain to me why they only designed a single run for him in the week? Are they just praying he'll learn to pass? Because it still feels like you should use his athleticism.
I couldn't agree more, and that's been a huge problem in Chicago. I feel like as a fan for a long time watching him play, it's the same thing with Trubisky. Like, I'm sure you'll see my colors bleed through. I love Mitch Trubisky to death. So
he's your guy, man, to the
he
end.
He is, yeah. I'll live and die by that one till the day I die. But it seems like in across the board in the NFL, it seems now the league has opened up. I feel like with guys like Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson, and even Mahomes gets out and runs for 50 yards a game. But it seems like in Chicago, there's like this obsession with the 1985 Bears, and all of a sudden we have to have a pocket passer and a guy that can only throw from the pocket. And it just seems like they took away, same thing with Trubisky, they're kind of doing it with Fields. It's like you're taking away the guy's best asset and saying he has to be this, instead of like, why don't we design an offense that tailors around the guy's skill set that we actually have? So again, that's another hot topic in Chicago, is just like, why? Yeah, like you said, why not let Justin Fields run 10 times a game? Why not let design, play action passes that get him out of the pocket, especially maybe when your offensive line isn't great. Maybe that's something that helps the offensive line out a little bit. So But yeah, for a long time, Chicago's been obsessed with like living in 1985 and wanting this pocket passer, and we're going to play bear football in bear weather, as if half of the guys on the roster aren't from the SEC, who played in 80-degree weather their entire lives.
Right.
But somehow it's colder for the other team.
We're talking to Michael Massey, our Bears insider, of course, Royals second baseman. What's the feeling around Matt Nagy in Chicago? Because we were going to talk about this later on, but want to get your perspective, because I know, of course, how it ended there, but I feel like at times people forget he did take your guy, Mitchell Trubisky, to the postseason a couple times. And here in Kansas City, obviously everybody's very fond of Matt Nagy, and at some point people think has a chance to be the successor to Andy Reid whenever that day comes.
Yeah, well, I was actually out to dinner with my fiance, and I saw Matt Nagy, and I don't think my fiance has ever seen me as excited. And I kind of was at like a loss for words. I shook his hand. I was like, "Hey, good luck, coach." And I made the mistake of saying I'm a Bears fan. I think he kind of like freaked out, but I don't think I loved Matt Nagy. Like you said, I mean, to be able, it's kind of one of those things where the grass is always greener on the other side, you think, and then all of a sudden that person leaves, and you're like, maybe that person was really good. Like, they went 12-4. They won the NFC North with Aaron Rodgers in that division, with a very good Vikings team. But it seems, again, in Chicago, it's like you can never win. People are never satisfied. So it's like, well, we didn't get to the Super Bowl. It's like, yeah, well, they were a field goal post away from going to the NFC Championship. So again, it's just. But then Nagy leaves, and then now we're 3-14, and the same thing kind of happened with Lovie Smith. It's like Lovie Smith was always that, hey, the Bears are going to go 11-5, 10-6. They're going to play good defense, and at some point after 4 or 5 years of that just wasn't enough for people in Chicago. And then all of a sudden they let go of Lovie Smith, and it's like, bam, they're 2-14. So yeah, I love Matt Nagy. I think he's super creative, and obviously it's showing again in that Chiefs offense.
Michael, I have 2 questions for you that are not related to the Bears before we let you go. First is, are you going to come to the watch party with Vinny on October 1st at Hollywood Casino?
Yes.
Okay, so we can confirm.
I didn't have much of a choice on that with Vinny, but yeah.
He's like, you're coming, and I'll see you there. Well, it'll be fun anyway. We're looking forward to seeing you.
You can be there for emotional support, because I think it's going to be pretty ugly now on that Jets game. It's not going to be what we thought it was.
I'd say it's a lot less enticing because, you kind of know the outcome of that one, I think.
The second I have is, so our phone system puts up names when they come dial in. The name that shows up when you call in says your dad's name, Keith. Are you still on your parents' cell phone plan?
You know what? That's a great question, because I am not a tech person at all, and every time I get on a Zoom call, it'll come up as my mom's name. So, yeah, that's probably number one on the off-season list to figure out is how to grow up at the age of 25 and get off your parents' cell phone.
Hey, look, if they'll still pay for it, no shame, man.
I was going to say,
as long as they'll pay for it, you're good.
Trust me, they know nothing about it, and I haven't brought it up. So
good for you. With it. Yeah, good for you. All right, man. Well, enjoy the game the best you can on Sunday. What was the score prediction you gave? You said early on you think it's like going to be an absolute beatdown.
Yeah, I think it'll be a beatdown early, and then I feel like every NFL game, the Chiefs are going to go into a nice little prevent defense, and then the Bears will put something together in the fourth quarter and score a touchdown or two. And I'm going 45-17.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, man. The Chiefs offense is going to break out, I think.
I hope you're right. I would calm the waters here a little bit in KC. Thanks for calling in. I know you got still some baseball to play a little bit later on today against the Astros, and we'll check in, I guess, that Sunday night there for the Chiefs and Jets.
Sounds good, guys. Looking forward to it.
There you go.
Having me on.
Absolutely. That's Michael Massey joining us here on Cody and Gold, our Bears insider, of course, Royals second baseman. And yeah, when he called in, I saw it was his dad's name on there. I told you, I was like, I think that's his dad's name.
It's definitely his dad's name.
That's great, by the way.
It just also, like, it's funny, like, if let's say you're 25 right now and you're still on your parents' cell phone plan and all these things, we're talking about it. If you're looking for an excuse, a professional Major League Baseball player who presumably makes some pretty good money is, still on his parents' plan. So why can't you be? If your parents offered to pay for your phone, you'd let them.
So I'll take my twin sister, still on my parents' plan.
Still? Does she give them money?
No.
So we share a family plan with him as family, but we pay our part. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's cheaper for us to all be on a plan together, but we send money to them every month for our phones.
It's weird. I think what happens, a lot of people, even though you can easily transfer your number, I think part of it is that people it's a pain in the you-know-what to get stuff transferred over. And so I think that's why some people haven't done it. But also, like, Michael Massey wasn't very long ago. He was in the minors. And in fairness to him, this is his first full season in the big league. So, and I'm guessing he's been a little busy and occupied in season.
I like that his mom's name showing up on Zoom calls.
Yeah, that's an easy fix, though.
That's just a log out, log in situation.
Yeah, someone can help him with that pretty quickly. The cell phone thing, he's going to have to get stuff transferred over,
They used to do, like, Geek Squad stuff. Can he just get somebody over his house? And
I don't think you need Geek Squad to change the name on Zoom, Cody. That seems like a waste of money.
Anytime somebody utters a sentence, I'm not a tech person, they might. That's not a good sign from that's the person who says, hey, I'm looking for my email. Where is it? And you're like, well, where do you use your email? Like, I'm just trying to type my name into the Google search. You're like, that's not how any of this works. Where is your email located?
Right. Yeah.
That's funny.
Someone says they're 34, still on their parents' plan, but they write it off as a business expense, so they're not going to stop them. Someone else says their parents are on their phone plan.
Wow.
The reverse of that.
Interesting.
Okay. Also, some people calling out Massey. They said, hey, he's reverse jinxing this. He said 45-17 Chiefs. They said they're not buying it.
Happily predict a Chicago win.
Like he said, he's a realist, though. He's a realist. He understands the situation the Chicago Bears are in. And I do think Bears fans, as time goes on, will appreciate the time that Matt Nagy was there more.
He was a 500 coach who won a division and went to a couple of playoffs. With a quarterback, I know Massey loves him, but with a quarterback, most people don't love. So I don't know what more you were asking the man to do. Really, if he ever ends up being the successor to Andy Reid, we're going to have to pray, though, a little bit, that it is the Bill Belichick situation and that he was really just an average coach from a winning perspective because of the circumstances and not his ability to coach, if that makes sense. And if you just gave him Patrick Mahomes full time, it'd be fine.
45-17 would be a whole 2 touchdowns over the over-under right now, 48.5.
That's a lot of points. We'll have our final predictions that we give out in the 1 o'clock hour today. I can just I do not have the Chiefs scoring 45.
I will say this. When we do our show bets later, I'm going. This whole Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift thing, Kelce over is my bet. The Kelce over on
because of
yardage.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Hey, you can bet things for all kinds of reasons.
True. You can come up with any reason. That's true.
I'm choosing love.
Okay.
Is there a better reason to bet on someone than love?
All he needs is one of those, hey, good luck today, 100 yards.
Hold on. Do you think Taylor Swift is sending him?
She hits him the good luck text?
Unstoppable. You think Taylor Swift is sending Kelce a text before the game Sunday that says good luck,
With
Travis?
a winky emoji. Oh, yeah.
With an emoji,
Come
too.
on now.
What do you think? Taylor's too good to use an emoji? She's a 33-year-old woman. She can use an emoji.
Is that where they're at? That's where quietly hanging out is that's where they're at? Okay.
I feel
emoji use happening already.
That's another step of the relationship.
the winky
emoji use.
The winking emoji. Okay.
With the little
that would motivate the hell out of me too. If Taylor Swift was sending me a text before a big game.
Show it to the whole locker room though. They might drop 45 points.
Maybe so. 3-touchdown game if that's the case. That really is happening.
Someone on the text line has continued to ask multiple days in a row if they can read their Kelce Swift fan fiction on the show.
I don't know if this is the same person. Someone else called it erotic fiction the other day. So no, if that's the same person. If it's fan fiction.
If it's erotic, you're not interested. But if it's fan fiction, you're okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can send it. I don't know. I can't promise it's getting read on the air if it's the other version is what I'm trying to say. But if you want to send it in, we'll take a look. We'll let you know. But I don't
it does
think we can
appear
read
to be
it
the same person who earlier called it erotic
fan
fiction.
See?
And is now calling it just fan fiction. So we'll have to keep an eye out on
that. I don't know, man. That's reserved for Club 610, if any chance of it. 1 o'clock hour today, Club 610, presented by Jay Rieger and Co. We have McKenzie Nelson from 41 joining us in studio today for a little Club 610. Her second club appearance.
The first one was a smash success, so we had to have her back. Although we did let people call in and offer to take her out on a date.
Oh, yeah, we should follow back up on that. I'm sure she'll love us doing that in the 1 o'clock hour today.
Be drinking a gin cocktail today. I'll get you the name later, but a gin cocktail today.
All right, Drew. Big college football weekend ahead. Set us up. What we got in store?
That is right. There's 6 ranked top 25 matchups, if you will.
That's a lot.
The first week since 2006, where there's been more 7 of them in 2006. But a lot of really good ones for us on the slate. Coming up tomorrow, Colorado still in the top 25. They're on the road in Eugene to take on the Oregon Ducks. That spread is still 21 right now in favor of the Ducks, by the way. UCLA taking on Utah. Ole Miss is in Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama. You got Oregon State on the road at Washington State. And then the nightcap for you, a couple of them. Ohio State at Notre Dame. Game day is going to be there. And then Iowa at Penn State. Some really good matchups, guys. I mean, this is...
Sit at the bar, watch college football kind of matchups.
For the snoozer we thought we would have last week that ended up being very entertaining, we've got a heavy slate that hopefully fits up to the billing. 6 top 25 ranked-on-ranked matchups. It could be a busy day for us tomorrow in terms of watching.
Anybody think Colorado's keeping it closer than 3 touchdowns?
Yes.
I think so. I think it's maybe like a 17-point. I was thinking the line was going to be 14-17. 21 seems like a lot. No Travis Hunter is a massive blow, though. I know Colorado went to double overtime. I was, if it wasn't for that performance, like if Colorado would have beat Colorado State by 2 touchdowns, I think the line would be 14 or 17. But still, 80-something% of the bets are on Colorado to cover the 21. It's going to keep on.
And honestly, people have been winning money.
They haven't been able to. The books have not been able to figure out the correct line for this. I mean,
to get a 50-50 bet share.
It's all over the place with Colorado. But I'm more excited for Ohio State, Notre Dame. I think Sam Hartman against Ohio State. Notre Dame's got such a difficult schedule. This is the next step in that before it continues to get tough. If Notre Dame beats Ohio State, and I think they can, then that sets Notre Dame up in a really, really good spot.
2 guys to watch this weekend of the Heisman race conversation. Bo Nix at Oregon and also Sam Hartman.
I was getting ready to just prove that I remembered Bo Nix played at Oregon and Drew ruined it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was going to say I was looking forward to watching Bo Nix at Oregon.
Speaking of 45, though, I think that's about the amount of points Oregon's going to put up on Colorado. 45-28-ish,
I like the over in the game. It's over 70.5. I do think both teams will score because Colorado's defense sucks.
All 3 locals are in action. All 3 technically hosting, even though Memphis and Missouri is going to be a neutral site game. KU's hosting BYU. That's at 2:30 on ESPN. Mizzou and Memphis, that's on CBS Sports Network at 6:30, and then K-State hosts UCF at 7 on FS1. No Will Howard, or maybe no Will Howard. We don't know yet, but that I think K-State could be on a little bit of upset alert here. I don't know if you can consider KU on upset alert, but based on how they looked last week, Gold, your Jayhawks maybe have to be a little bit weary.
Yeah. Well, I told you, I think BYU covers the 10 points. I think KU wins this game. It's going to be a sellout at the booth tomorrow. Rain in the forecast, though. I think BYU covers, but I do expect KU to get the 4-0. I think it'll only be like the 2nd or 3rd time in school history that they went consecutive seasons to start at 4-0, which is, I think, 1915 and 1916
That's the reason
something.
why Lance Leipold is
crazy.
loved there currently.
But I do think they get
1915? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll give you the exact number. Someone put that out earlier today. I gotta see if we can get
and then Seamus O'Hallahan. You just they always have like ridiculous names for the people who were like starting at that time.
Cody, if Mizzou do lose to Memphis, I think the whole target on Drinkwitz's back is maybe alive again. The potential job-saving win last week too. Did you really just do that if they end up losing? There's no way that they lose to Memphis, right?
It's like nobody's going to bother them when they lose. They've got 3 ranked SEC teams later in the year. Nobody's going to blame you if you lose 3 straight games during that stretch. There's still a limitation to what people thought you were going to do this year. But yeah, maybe don't lose to Memphis this week, the week after getting a big win against K-State.
And then to tease it a little bit, college football relegation, we're going to talk about it a little bit later, guys. This is an interesting, so I read the story a little bit more too, by the way. It's not just all of Power 5. It's a specific segment of the U.S. that had this proposal. So, soccer and relegation, is that actually a possibility? We'll dive into that a little bit later.
Yeah, I was going to say, just to give credit, the KC Star put it out. Yeah, if KU wins against BYU on Saturday, be 4-0 for the first time in consecutive seasons since 1913 to 1915. Wild, but that's what they have a chance to do. Just want to make sure we got that correct when I mentioned the right years. So there you go. 1913, Cody.
Do you even know anything about your team? Who was starting for them?
In 1913, I have no clue.
They got it. You know what? They got that 4th win against Kansas State.
How about that?
Watch out! They beat William Jewell, Drake, Kansas State in that opening matchup.
The rest of the season did not go well for them each of those years, if I remember right. All the way back in 1913.
100 years ago.
They lost 3 of their next 4 games, and they finished the season 5-3.
There you go.
They lost to Oklahoma, Nebraska, and Missouri. Tough losses. They lost to Missouri 0-3. Their first wins were 7-0, 9-3. What football?
Well, it's just Iowa Big Ten football.
The Penn State Iowa game. It could be something like that. Who knows?
Might be. There you go. That's a little college football slate.
What the hell is that?
For this weekend.
Head coach was Arthur Mosey.
It's a fantastic college football Saturday coming our way. We also have some games tonight, 4 games tonight, but Saturday is going to be awesome. Up next, we get right back to the Chiefs, though, with our Chiefs insider, Arrowhead Pride's own Pete Sweeney. We'll ask him about the confidence level he has in the Chiefs being able to cover in this game, but also the injury list is piling up. Who does he actually believe is going to play? That's next.
Chiefs fans, it's Creed Humphrey. Don't miss Cody and Gold weekdays starting at 10 on 610 Sports Radio.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and there's a lot of reasons why you should buy from us. Locally owned Subaru retailer in Kansas City. And you'll want a Carfax history report, of course, and a comprehensive multi-point inspection. And your first maintenance is free. Best of all, every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. You'll fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
This service contract is not provided or backed by the manufacturer of the vehicle. The manufacturer of the vehicle is not responsible for the claims or repairs under this service contract.
Kevin Harlan here. Ann and I loved our new Champion heating and cooling system this past summer.
Our house was always a perfect temperature, and it was so quiet. The humidity control worked like a champion.
And Annie, our energy savings and lower bills came true just like Champion said they would.
Now we're looking forward to keeping our family warm this winter with our Champion Premium Furnace.
Find your local Champion dealer at ChampionHomeComfort.com, and don't forget to ask about their free 10-year parts and labor warranty. Always leading, ChampionHomeComfort.com.
Enjoy all of your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. It's never been easier to join BetMGM's new and improved app. Sign up using code BETKC and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and the best daily promotions in the business. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. You can also check out the weekly free-to-play game, 8-Bit Berry Game, on the app. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. BetMGM.com for T's and C's. 21 plus to wager. Kansas only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. Bonus bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Well, it's a Red Friday right here on 610 Sports Radio, and also with my friends over at The Other Place. Make The Other Place your sports watching headquarters with 3 great Kansas City locations, Shawnee, Olathe, and downtown Overland Park. Plus, they're opening up a new one in Mission and Belton.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
Chickies and Pete's Crab House and Sports Bar is now open. Voted the #1 sports bar in North America by ESPN. Great food, seafood, handcrafted burgers, wings, and a game day experience for all ages. Located in the new expansion at Bally's KC. ChickiesandPete's.com.
It's touchdown Kansas City when you sell your home to Rex at RexBuysKC.com. The champions when it comes to buying homes in Kansas City.
That's right, Mitch. We'll pay more for any home. No hassles or strings attached. We'll buy your home as is for quick, instant cash in only 7 days.
Every home seller scores more with Rex. Rex and his team buy homes for any reason. Bankruptcy, foreclosure, probate, damaged or vacant homes, as is, and you rush away with instant cash.
Homeowners, don't get sacked with a poor financial decision. Call me, Rex, now at 816-330-6000. Fair and honest prices because we know bad things can happen to good people.
Tackled by big home improvement costs, roofs, plumbing, exteriors cost you thousands. Pocket that money and walk away debt and worry free.
Before you sign to sell, call me at 816-330-6000 or online at RexBuysKC.com.
Call the champions, Rex Buys Houses at 816-330-6000 or online at RexBuysKC.com.
We're talking with Dr. David Bach, board-certified urologist at Kansas City Urology Care. Doctor, when it comes to prostate cancer, what makes KCUC the best?
KCUC treats more prostate cancer than anyone else in the metro, and for that matter, in this part of the country.
What does that mean for the patient?
As part of cancer care, the patient will need a urologist, a pathologist, a medical oncologist, and a radiation oncologist. We offer specialists, board-certified specialists, in all those areas on site. It's important to a patient because they want the best possible care with the best possible outcomes with the fewest chances of side effects. Without a doubt, Kansas City Urology Care is the expert in prostate cancer therapy.
See the prostate cancer experts, Kansas City Urology Care. At KCUC, you see the best in KC. To make an appointment, visit appointments.kcurology.com.
I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Choosing the best doctor for your eyes is one of the most important medical decisions you'll ever make. Whether you're considering blade-free LASIK, all laser cataract surgery, and premium lens implants, or want a world-renowned doctor to help with your glaucoma, macular degeneration, dry eyes, or diabetes, trust my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein. Call Silverstein Eye Centers to make an appointment, 816-358-3600. Experience the best eye care in Kansas City.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
An A-piece of Kentucky Fried Chicken's new hot and spicy wings is just $4.99. Prepped in secret spicy marinade, hand-breaded until crispy perfection. They're a delicious combination of heat and flavor. Kinda makes me want to celebrate. Hit it! Tasty heat! Tasty heat! Tasty heat! Wings, am I right?
You're right. Grab an 8-piece of KFC's new hot and spicy wings for just $4.99. Prices and participation may vary. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Dick Butkus here. I've got a game changer for you. When it comes to creating a winning website, there's only one team I trust. AmericanEagle.com. I've known them for 25 years. In my career, I learned that success isn't just about talent, it's about teamwork. That's what you'll find at AmericanEagle.com. They'll listen to your goals and work with you and handle all your digital properties. They'll ensure your website is user-friendly, responsive, and optimized for search engines. AmericanEagle.com also provides ongoing support and digital marketing strategies that will keep you ahead of the competition. They even host our podcast. Whether you're a medium to large business or a big-time player, AmericanEagle.com is the top choice. Visit www.AmericanEagle.com for website design, development, and online solutions that deliver efficiency and results. Go to AmericanEagle.com or call them at 877-WEB-NOW-1.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios.
Hey, it's Willie Gay Jr. You're listening to the official broadcast partner of the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Pete Sweeney, 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 Pete Sweeney.
All right, it is that time of the week where we check in with our guy Pete Sweeney, the editor-in-chief over at Arrowhead Pride. He is our Chiefs insider. What'd you make of Cody's little column this week? How would you grade his work? Is he invited back?
Oh, of course. A++. He's a gifted writer.
Wow.
He was worried about the edits, and I thought he did a pretty clean job. It didn't take as much operation surgery as I thought it might. However, the Cody and Gold commercial, C-, maybe a D+.
Wow.
Lists all the guests.
Yeah, we do. All of our guests.
All week. And you stop on Thursday. I don't know if that was intentional or what.
Huh.
But,
interesting.
Something significant was missing from that commercial.
Yeah.
Probably a timing issue, Pete? Like, they got to Thursday, then realized the 30 seconds were up and weren't sure what to do about Friday.
Like the Jimmy Kimmel, Matt Damon joke where they're out of time for
That's right.
I got it.
We just don't have time to include in Fridays. Pete Sweeney from Arrowhead Pride joins us on the
There we
show.
go. Yeah.
We are going to hear from Andy Reid later on today. What's your feeling right now, though, with a long injury list? I know they got a couple guys back at practice in some form, though.
Yeah, I think you could probably rule out Richie James. That we all know. I mean, Andy Reid went as far as to say that one's going to be long term. I don't think they like to lean into players that I've been able to practice this week. I'm about to go out to I've got to think it's going to be indoors today, but we'll see and see who's at practice today. But if Kadarius Toney misses this day, probably will be ruled out. I tend to think that'll be the case. And, he's a player that in the past they've been cautious with because you can't really push him, and then you end up losing him for more weeks than you bargained for. And so I think every other guy on the list, that's Pacheco and the two linebackers, have a chance. I had noted that the two linebackers, Andy Reid said, went through the walkthrough on Wednesday. That's usually a good indication that there's a chance. Good to see Pacheco back in the mix. I personally feel like, and I'm sure you guys might agree, that if there's any question, and I know you don't want to always do this, but it's the Chicago Bears who are a complete mess right now. Don't push Pacheco when you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jerick McKinnon, and LaMichael Pirine if need be. We'll see on that one. I tend to think Pacheco will be questionable. Bolton will be questionable. And I think Gay is probably clear to go, but that's something we'll have to wait to see from the official injury report. But that's kind of my feel on the situation.
This is kind of a tough week, though, if the linebackers are a little bit dinged up, right? Because I assume, based on the way they're talking, they will finally let Justin Fields run again.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Chicago. It's odd. It's just an odd situation there. It seems like Justin Fields through the media, and he wasn't happy about this later on, but he essentially was saying that it needs to be simplified for me. Simplified means that he's probably going to have free reign to run. But the Chiefs will be ready for that. I mean, they have faced quarterbacks that can scoot, not anyone this year as fast as Justin Fields, but they've had plans before, the Lamar Jacksons of the world. So I think they'll be in good shape. And I know that you'd want to have all your linebackers completely healthy, but you parlay that with the pleasant surprise has been Leo Chanel. I think even that makes you feel better about it and how versatile he's been. Drew Tranquill should be good to go. I think they'll give him the mic so that he can make the calls. And so I think you'll be okay. The Chiefs are fortunate, I think, that it's Bears week. I know that you don't want to always jinx things. They did lose to the Colts last year, but a lot of that had to be from self-inflicted wounds. I think this game will be pretty at hand no matter who's available.
Yeah, we were talking the scenarios of what it could look like on Monday if the team lost. Like, how would it even come to be? And I think the Colts game is one thing. I'm with you, but it would, to me, take double-digit penalties again, 3+ turnovers again, and the defense regressing in a quite a serious manner from what we've seen, just to have the Bears in position with the final drive of the game or something.
Yeah, and this is a team, too. It would have to be the perfect storm. This is a team, too, that, finds ways to lose the turnover battle and win pretty consistently, which is kind of outrageous when you think about how often they're able to do that. In the NFL, if you lose a turnover battle, you're usually losing the game. And so, yeah, it would have to be something significant. And the defenses looks good with Chris Jones back in the mix. They look good without him. And now this is another game where you tend to think he's going to get additional snaps, so you feel good about that side. And I don't think the offense has been happy. So you're even getting a little bit of ticked off Pat, which we know is not usually a good thing for the opposition. So, man, I feel pretty good about this particular game. But how many times have we said famous last words in the NFL? So you always have to play on Sunday. That's the whole part of it.
Pete, I'm big on Travis Kelce this week, partially because I think it's a good matchup because of all the zone stuff teams have been running, but also because I think that he's going to want to show off for Taylor. Do you think that Kelce's 100%? Is he back? He says he's not questioning the knee anymore.
No, there's been no question about the knee. I mean, if I'm thinking about where he's going to be, I don't think you can be 100% 2 weeks after having a hyperextension, but I think somewhere in the 85-90% range is fair. He has shed any kind of compression sleeve in my looks this week. I've noted that on X. I can't get used to that.
Just say Twitter, dude.
But yeah, I think, if you pregame, to your point, Cody, see, he's wearing some kind of friendship bracelet. I think you run to Kansas, or if you're Gold, you just dial up the phone on your couch and you put extra money on that Travis Kelce over.
Currently it's 74.5, by the way.
We were saying, in order to feel good about that, I need to know that Taylor Swift sent Kelce a text Sunday morning saying, "Good luck in the game, Travis." We need that.
And part of that, as we know, Alex, is just making sure that Carrington's number's blocked because he's going to be reaching out trying to get the bet.
That's right. Yeah, on Sunday mornings, Carrington knows I block his number so he doesn't text me asking him to make. I do block his. I leave it open for you just in case, Cody, just in case. But Carrington, I definitely block his number. Yeah, he knows not to. He knows not to text me to ask. for when it comes to
Yeah,
that.
you're nobody's bookie.
That's right.
He has a car.
That's right. All right, we're talking to Pete Sweeney from Arrowhead Pride. But on the offensive line, Juwan Taylor spoke yesterday and acknowledged, what he needs to work on and has been working on this week. Is this something that you think as time goes on, the attention will go away where he can get back to maybe doing what he was doing, or is this a season-long thing he's going to have to adjust?
The alignment's fine, I think, because it's easily adjustable. I think they've probably been working with him this week. I think he's probably going to continue to try to time up what he's been able to do for the first 4 or 5 years of his career. This has only been under the microscope, and it's funny because you think, any team in the NFL is going to get attention if they're doing it. It seems like he was just doing the same thing in Jacksonville, except Jacksonville gets no spotlight compared to Kansas City, and so I think. Once again, this week, it'll continue to be under the microscope. This is how these things go. Might happen for 2-3 weeks, but I think gradually here he'll be able to, I think, adjust slightly. Like maybe it's not going, maybe you lose a tick in that advantage that he might have had, but I think he'll get to a place where he'll find a way to still use that jump off, but also do that within the rules.
Pete, I know we talked about the wide receivers earlier. If Tony doesn't go, is it finally what fans have been kind of asking for, which is we'll get to see more Rashee Rice, or are we just going to see more Justin Watson? He's going to keep leading this team in receiving.
Well, Watson knows the playbook, and that's why you're seeing him so much out there. Like I would be surprised if by the end of the year you don't see Watson kind of go back to the shadows. I think the Chiefs really trust him as that ultimate utility man. They often say he knows every single position. That's tough for players that are new in the system. You saw Sky Moore go through that last year, and even last game, you could see that he's playing a little bit looser. So I think later in the year, Rashee Rice, it will be more of a factor. I think for a rookie wide receiver, he's actually done pretty well so far, just to even, be involved. And so I think Rice has the best chance. If you're looking at Rice and Ross now with the 5 receivers, I think Rice has the best chance to contribute earlier. And then who knows, by the end of the season, it might grow from, the Justin Ross red zone package seemingly to needing him and seeing that he can actually be one of these guys that plays end zone to end zone on the field. And so I do think you get more of Watson just because I think he has the trust of Mahomes. He's a reliable receiver. But as you go here, you never know. Availability is key. Sometimes other receivers go down and perhaps some of the young guys will be forced and thrown into the fire, and maybe that's where you see more of Rashee Rice or Justin Ross even.
So is Justin Watson returning punts and kicks now this week if Tony can't go? Is that the plan?
My feel on this is I don't know if we're necessarily going to see the same replacement for both jobs like we saw with Richie James in both positions. I tend to think Justin Watson will be the punt returner. Dave Toub has left it open when it comes to both jobs, but I think Watson really proved last year that he could do it. I think the one thing that we were talking about, if you simply don't drop the football at all, you should beat the Bears. So why even take a chance in my mind with a Sky Moore? And then I wonder about kick returns. If Pacheco is up, does he maybe get a nod for a game? You said that he can mix and match here. I know that Pacheco is so important to the offense nowadays, but do they go back to last year? I know they were using Deneric Prince. They could use a practice squad call-up. I mean, who knows? I know that we're just assuming LaMichael Pirine, but Prince was doing that in the preseason, so maybe he's the surprise call-up on Saturday. So there's a number of different ways they can go. I actually thought going into the Dave Toub press conference, I'm like, this guy's great. He's going to tell us exactly who's doing everything. And he left it open to 4 or 5 different guys. So a little bit wait and see there, a little bit playing the game. And so I definitely think Watson will be the punt returner. This is just me talking. And then we'll see about the kick returner.
Last thing for me, Pete, as far as these next 6 games go, we thought this schedule was not going to have any breaks, and now it looks like there'll be a nice favorite in a good majority of the next 6 games. I think they got to go 5-1 in this next 6 if they want to be the number 1 seed. Schedule gets harder earlier. Losses will come here and there. But for this stretch, do they need to go 5-1 if at the end of the year they want to be the number 1 seed?
Well, this has really played out. I realized it this morning as I was going through some things. It's like the Ameniyu gift. You thought the schedule would be hard and tough to win games early on, and you look at the teams they have now, and everybody's struggling in those next 4 weeks without Ameniyu. And then you kind of get through not having Charles Ameniyu, and that's when the schedule, it looks like now, is the ramp up when you get the Dolphins in Germany, you have the bye, and then it gets a little tougher in the second half. Yeah, so for me, I agree with you. However, I just feel like in the preseason, Cody, if where we were maybe a week before the season, knowing that you wouldn't have had Jones, knowing that you wouldn't have had a Manihue, and who you didn't really know that the schedule was going to open up, I think you would have slammed the C dot button on 4-2. And so for me, I think if you get through that stretch and can get a Manihue back in the mix, even at 4-2, I still feel like you're in a good position, especially if that second loss were to come to an NFC team even. So there's different scenarios, but I would take 4-2, but this team easily, with the way that they've been playing, especially defensively, can go 5-1. I think that is reasonable.
All right, Pete Sweeney, our Chiefs insider from Arrowhead Pride. We have an in-office against the spread contest, and you didn't even put your pick in last week. So good luck. Make sure you get your pick in today. You're welcome.
Yeah, I will do that. I definitely need to do that. I also auto-drafted, and I'm in first place in the Cody and Gold Guillotine League.
There is no first place in Guillotine. You know
Sure,
that, right?
he's the highest scoring team.
It's whoever is last. There is no first place. It's just survive and advance, man. But you are off to a good start.
So it's a 15-way tie for first. I see what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All
right, there you go.
Right,
That's
guys.
Pete Sweeney. He joins us every Friday here on Cody and Gold. And yes, we have our Guillotine League, and he is averaging the most points currently. But
it kind of puts him in first place.
It does, but in the guillotine format, you just got to find a way to survive. You can have the fourth highest score for 8 weeks in a row. It doesn't matter. You're good. You're good. At some point later in the year, obviously, it starts to matter. We've had people that average the most, and then 1 week they just have a terrible week and they're gone.
That's a bad feeling.
That sucks. Yeah.
I was the third highest scoring team 2 years ago when I eventually got knocked out. And I was just like, this is the worst. Doesn't make any sense. Oh, well. It's frustrating.
Reminder, coming up in about a half hour, we'll give you a chance at a large pizza from our friends over at The Other Place, as we do each and every Friday on the show. Mentioned this week, Vern had a great sit-down interview with both J.J. Piccolo and John Sherman, 22-minute exclusive interview. You can find it up on 610sports.com. Yesterday, we played the comments from John Sherman when it came to contract discussions with Bobby Wood Jr., backup plans, a little bit on the stadium. I thought what J.J. Piccolo had to say about how they view the pitchers was really interesting, and I actually was happy to hear it, and it was really refreshing. He was talking about the struggles this year with some of the pitchers and what their thought is about these pitchers going forward.
Unfortunately, we have a couple guys that just didn't get off the ground this year that we'd like to think will rebound, but we're at a point where we're not going to count on that. We need to recognize that for us to win more games, we got to get people who can pitch right now and pitch at a higher level than we are as a starting staff.
Let's see if they actually can do that, but I loved hearing that. Again, I get it. We have to see the action happen, and that's where a lot of people are at. I get it, skepticism, but I think it's a big deal that the general manager of the team acknowledge, hey, we're not giving up on these guys, but this whole we're just going to wait around and hope that they just
see if you show up.
We need guys that can help us now. That's why we didn't win many baseball games this year. Like that to me was important to hear from J.J. Piccolo, and I loved hearing that.
He's talking about Lynch and Bubich and Marsh and Bolin and all these guys who have had some time in the big league level and have shown at times levels of promise. I think Daniel Lynch pitched in a rehab start for 2 innings last night, scoreless. I understand this notion that is they had to evaluate that this year, but this, if true, is a very good thing to hear, which is if they end up working out, gangbusters, great, fantastic. We're way deeper at pitching than we ever thought. But if we're walking in next year saying Daniel Lynch is one of the 5 guys we're counting on to start for this team, no, that is a bad mentality, and we are going to have to replace him this offseason. That all comes back down to the spending and all the things we're talking about beyond that.
Sure.
I actually think that's the right approach. The young guys who have proven they can pitch for you, the guys who know you can pitch for you next year, Reagan's, Singer.
Pitching today, by the way.
Yeah. The guys you know who can pitch for you next year, they're in the rotation. You're good. But this notion of and I used to think this way too for a long time with the Royals, which is, hey, they got 5 names. They need 2 to pan out. Okay, well, they got 2 through right now, thanks to the Reagan's trade right now of guys that will pitch for you. That means they got 4 more names of guys that they drafted that they thought have some potential and probably still think have some potential. But they're not going to sit around. You get to earn your spot because you're pitching in AAA. Someone gets hurt.
Spring training.
You make a start. You prove your worth to this team. Fine, then we'll entertain you being a starter for this team. But we're not waiting on pins and needles to find out if it works. That's good. You have to operate that way.
At spring training, they should have plenty of competition. Either guys that are coming back from injury or what we're hearing there, hopefully, new pieces, whether it's free agency,
Correct.
whether it's moving some guys around to bring in guys that can be in your rotation. Because right now, you're right. Cole Reagans, Brady Singer, assuming they don't deal Singer, but Cole Reagans, Brady Singer, and Jordan Lyles. I know you don't want to hear that, but Jordan Lyles is probably your fifth starter. 3 guys to me are in the right. 3 guys are in the rotation next year already. To me, that you can mark down. And after that, it's maybe Angel Zerpa is someone that can compete for a spot. I don't know. Outside the organization.
Maybe Zerpa, maybe Marsh. Who knows? They'll try.
But I like hearing that. And I get if you're someone that's listening and said, hey, man, they can say that, but they got to prove it to me. I get it. More than fair. More than fair. They're going to have to show people in November and December and January that what we've heard the last couple of days. And I think a pretty honest interview from both John Sherman and JJ Piccolo with Vern. Again, you can find it on 610sports.com. Let's see if they actually are able to execute the plan that they're discussing, where they feel they need to go, and can they actually pull that off?
To me, the other good news about this is if you go about finding replacements for starters because you're like, hey, we're not waiting on these guys, that could lead to the potential of a very good bullpen. All of their former bullpen were failed major league starters. There's no doubt Daniel Lynch has stuff. Carlos Hernandez showed some promise, right, in that regard. Angel Zerpa, you mentioned him. He's not starting every game.
Right.
He's pitched 5 innings in a game and was effective, but he's also pitched 1 inning twice in the last 5 games and was effective. If you can find roles for guys in the bullpen in which they aren't exposed, they aren't a 5 inning, they aren't a 6 inning, but you find the methodology behind how you use them, this could be a good thing for your bullpen too. But waiting on starting pitching to just show up and be good now, if you're the Royals based on that draft class, we're done with that. You're done with that. Not saying you never give them an opportunity again, but you're done saying that's part of our solution for this year.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever thought I'd hear that. I mean, this goes back to the prior regime, right? Like, I don't know if I ever thought I would hear that from a general manager of this team.
They were big believers.
It was nice to hear that. Let's see if they actually can act on it this offseason as well. All right, let's get to the trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
I don't know where this was 15, 20 plus years ago, at least for you and I, Cody.
This doesn't seem like trash at all.
It's not trash, but it just fits in that category for the show today. Nerf, yes, is in the Nerf gun that we've all had as kids and your kids still have today.
They don't have yet, but I feel like we're gearing towards that.
Nerf has begun launching its own themed action parks. They're like 30,000 square feet. Blaster battle zones, sports challenges, an obstacle course, a food court, a store. You can check out the renderings. We both retweeted it yesterday. It looks awesome. The first 2 locations are going to open next year in New Jersey and Tennessee, so none around here, but hopefully it expands. It looks like an unbelievable place if you were like 12 years old to go and have a birthday party at.
It looked like if they would serve me beer, I'd go there for a bachelor party.
Yeah, someone said they need
rent that place out. That'd be a blast.
As someone else pointed out, the bar. They need a bar, and they also need to have a vending machine for ibuprofen and stuff as well for everybody's joints after the running around there. This looks great. Where was this idea? Nerf has been around forever. Why are they just now doing this?
It's actually a really fair question of what took you so long. Like, you see all the Dave and Buster's or main events of the world, and you see that they exist, and you never thought we should have this. It's it's not way off from what, like, I don't know, those places I used to go to as a kid, like Discovery Zone or whatever as a kid, right? A giant place to jump around and run around and shoot things with Nerf darts. But this is. This seems awesome.
Looking at the renderings, I mean, I can smell this place already. You know what I mean? Like,
just like foam and rubber.
Yeah, like, I can smell what this place is going to smell like already just looking at the photo. We kind of already have the feeling for that.
We've done a wiffle ball game as a crew. Why haven't we gotten a backyard football game together with a Nerf football? Some flag football with a Nerf ball where someone could still run 60 yards down the field.
I feel like all it took was Topgolf to start things up because they've got a basketball thing that they're building now, and then now we've got the Nerf thing. I know that Tiger Woods is building like a
indoor golf thing.
The huge, that plus there's like putt-putt golf courses that are legitimately nice that he's building in Arizona.
Not your typical miniature golf by any means.
I haven't been to any of those. Those like big indoor. Like, there's a big indoor miniature golf one for adults with drinks in OP, right?
Yeah, there's a place called Craft and Putt, and then there's a couple. There's another one that just opened as well recently. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, they're fun. It's great. Have a few drinks while you're. It's great, good little date night thing too.
I think the golf one could be fun, where it's like It's a little more real than top golf, right? I mean, that's part of the appeal. Anybody can hit it at least somewhat near the circle. Doesn't matter how bad at golf you are. Makes you feel like you're better at golf, right? Because you're trying to hit it inside of a 200-yard marker instead of what I'm normally trying to hit.
It's like target golf instead of actual golf. Yeah.
We're just trying to find. This looks like it would be. I'm telling you right now, this would be fun. You know why it seems fun is because it's like me getting a chance to do the American Gladiators course. That's essentially just a giant
it looks
Nerf
like
stadium. Think about it.
Yeah.
You have the small foam footballs you're trying to dunk into the basket. You have the tennis balls that are shooting out of you out of the cannon. Same vibe. Exact same vibe.
It's like laser tag. I mean,
is.
somebody in the text on the text line. It's perfect, just like laser tag. I like it.
Nerf theme park, basically. Action park coming to New Jersey and Tennessee next year. Maybe if those are actually a hit. If those do well, they're going to eventually expand those things. I can see one popping up in five years or so.
Haven't laser tag places like fallen off, so this may be the replacement for it. Yeah.
I'm just stunned that this, truly, that it's taken this. Nerf is something we all can relate to as when we were kids.
Yeah.
Very surprising.
It makes me want to go buy a Nerf gun for my kids.
You should go do it.
I kind of want to buy one of those ones that they've got things that we never even.
Well, there's some very expensive ones too.
Well, I almost bought one when Carrington was randomly shooting people with Nerf bullets. I almost went and bought the Gatling gun version of it, where it's it's got 500 Nerf bullets. I'm like, look, man, one of these days when he really
started just opening the door to our studio and firing a couple of them the Nerfs. And we were thinking about getting the one that's it looks like a machine gun basically, but it's a Nerf. And we just having it set up by the door. And the minute he opened it,
wait for our moment.
Boom.
That's still on the table. I'd be getting him back for a year's worth of something.
Start your kids early, Cody. I'm sure there'll be leagues that start up soon. I mean, they've got Top Golf leagues and all that other stuff. Who knows, man?
Could you imagine instead of putting your kid in youth soccer, you put him in a Nerf battle league? They're out here in helmets and doing somersaults and diving to. I mean, that's a whole nother level.
That's coming to Nickelodeon. It's Guts, but the new version of Guts, basically.
God, I always wanted to be on Guts.
Oh, who didn't? Coming up next, we'll get to the Chiefs Red Half Out. We'll give away a large pizza from the other place and back into the hypothetical that none of us really want to think about, but we're going to actually think about come Monday.
Cody and Gold.
People always call us a bleak show. The idea of you having to come on the air the next day and being like, Cody died in that blimp crash is hilarious to me. That's objectively funny.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Hi, it's Trey Smith, and in order for our team to get a victory, we need honesty, teamwork, work ethic, humility, and the golden rule. That's why my truck is from the dealer that embodies all those values, Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram also supports Giving Hope, whose sole purpose is to feed and clothe the needy in Wyandotte County and beyond. Giving back in the highest integrity, that's how Jeff and his team do business. For your next vehicle, visit or go to victorychrysler-dodge-jeepram.com.
Hey, it's Kling. Improving your health and wellness shouldn't be a trend. It should be part of your life. One of the 5 components of physical fitness is flexibility, and it's the one I struggle with the most. That's why I trust the practitioners at Stretch Zone to help me out. They stretch muscles I just can't get to on my own. I leave Stretch Zone feeling lighter, taller, moving easier, and I sleep better as well. Book your session today at one of Stretch Zone's 6 locations, including their new location in Brookside. Get started today at StretchZone.com. Stretch Zone. Stretch, work, play, repeat.
Dispatch, this is Mindy at Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. You know, you don't have to put off fixing plumbing problems in your home anymore. I mean, you could just ignore that clogged drain or visit missionphc.com to take care of your plumbing problems. Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. License 202058.
Old Shawnee Pizza has expanded to the Crossroads with their OSP Express. Go to ospexp.com to order and use any third-party delivery system. Located in the Crossroads Food Stop at 16th and Campbell. Go to ospexp.com to order. Old Shawnee Pizza, now 3 locations.
Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. All you got to do is place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel for this football season, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is super easy to use, and you got a wide spread of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. And I love the boost. Great bonus options from FanDuel. So visit FanDuel.com, use my promo code CDOT, and kick off this NFL season. FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL, and also 610 Sports Radio. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expires 7 days after retreat. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit kansgamblinghelp.com.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
If you or someone you know is suicidal or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides connection to free confidential support. There is hope. The Lifeline works. For 24/7 support, just call, text, or chat 988. Sponsored by ComCare and Rediscover.
Rent a Garage Doors, servicing and installing garage doors in KC for over 60 years. Family owned and top rated. Residential, commercial, service, and repairs. RENNER, forward and back. Renner, the company that does garage doors. RennerDoor.com.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results for no guarantee of future results, and every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Hurt in a car wreck? Everyone knows who to think of.
You think of Mike.
Mike's got this.
As soon as my wreck happened, I thought, Mike's got this. And his team got me $650,000.
Injured? Think of Mike.
Mike's got this.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Get ready to save with Spectrum One. You get Spectrum Internet delivering fast and reliable speeds for $49.99 a month. Free advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced privacy and security. And a free Spectrum mobile line with unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G. Go to spectrum.com/save more and use the Spectrum One savings calculator to see how much you can save today. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Score big savings with Hy-Vee and the Kansas City Chiefs. Big points mean even bigger savings. Just shop Hy-Vee the day after a game and earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score and based on the amount you spend. If the Chiefs score 42 points, you save 42 cents a gallon with any $42 purchase. The more we score, the more you save. Win or lose, everyone scores the day after a Chiefs game only at Hy-Vee. Offer valid in store only with lookup code 95345. Some restrictions apply. See store for details. You already get your groceries delivered from Hy-Vee, and that's great. But did you know you can also get your food delivered too? As in catered food? Give yourself a break from all the prepping, cooking, and the terrible, awful cleanup. Let Hy-Vee take care of your next get-together, graduation or watch parties, weddings, and holiday celebrations. Hy-Vee is happy to bring you the best food for breakfast, lunch, or dinner while you sit back and take all the credit. Contact Hy-Vee to cater your next event today. Voted Kansas City's best grocer.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant Cash Offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Woo-hoo! Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the its, KBB.com.
Is your old boiler making some less than positive noises? It could be on the way out. Why wait until it gets ice cold outside to find out it's going to be ice cold inside? Up here, winter doesn't play, and neither do Navien boilers. You know Navien for their industry-leading tankless water heaters, but Navien also offers high-efficiency boilers built with quality materials, a compact design, and a strong warranty. Take advantage of a federal tax credit of up to $600. Take that chill outside with Navien boilers, the ultimate heating and comfort experience. Find your local Navien boiler installer at boilercomfort.com.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Wow, Total Wine really does have everything. I found a great Prosecco for under $8, your favorite Cabernet, and Ruthie.
Ruthie?
Hi, that's me. What can I help with? Oh, thanks for recommending that amazing French rosé. And I can't believe it was under $7.
I know, right? You can't beat that price.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing. Let's grab some more. So glad we found Ruthie.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate. The best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Mostly cloudy, humid with thunderstorms, high 82. Weather brought to you by Barbasol Shaving Cream. Feeling great starts with a great shave, and great shaves start with Barbasol Shaving Cream. Close shave, America. Close shave Barbasol. Arvest Bank, proud supporter of your Kansas City Chiefs radio network. Arvest Bank, proud supporter of your Kansas City Chiefs radio network. Stop by any Arvest branch to find out why banking with Arvest and the Arvest Go mobile app makes life easier. Arvest Bank, proud to be here game day. Let's do this.
Chiefs Kingdom. This is Mitch Holtis, and welcome into the Chiefs Red Half Hour on Cody and Gold. Every day at 11:30 on your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
Chiefs Red Half Hour brought to you by Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Reminder, coming up in 10 minutes, we'll give you a chance at a large pizza from our friends over at the other place.
We're going to remember this week and every week moving forward.
We did it last week. No problem. All good.
You guys remember the last 3 weeks, actually.
There you go, Drew.
The streak continues.
Wait, we did it 3 weeks? Are you sure? I'm not so sure about that first week.
Yes, it was 3 weeks. Well, okay.
We love giving away pizza.
Maybe it was supposed to be 4, but it's been 3.
Okay.
So we're on a 3-game winning streak right now. A 3-week streak. Yeah.
Not bad.
We'll take it.
Look at you got a 4-1 here in about 20 minutes.
We'll take it. So nobody wants to think about the hypothetical, but we're going to do it anyway, which is, as we asked Pete, like what it looks like on Monday, but what are the scenarios where you actually think Chicago can win this football game?
How? Okay, they have to lose the turnover battle. That's just a non-negotiable. We are not entertaining a conversation in which the Chiefs lose to the Bears that does not include multiple turnovers and them losing the turnover battle. And honestly, likely a special teams turnover, which was the thing that has gotten them over the last few years when they get upset by a team they shouldn't.
Yeah, I think it's actually a lot like what happened in Jacksonville, but to the extreme. I mean, it's
funny because they won that game.
I know, which is why it's amazing that they won, but it's the other part is the defense also regressing, right? So it would be that they had 3 turnovers, that they had 10-plus penalties, and the defense, which was so good in the red zone and has been so good throughout the first 2 weeks, if suddenly the defense took a step back and was like, oh, wait a second here, they're maybe not the top 10 defense kind of thing. That would have to happen just for me to see the Bears having the ball down by one score late. I still think, to me, from a just like, is it a blowout type of perspective, it wouldn't surprise me if it's closer than people think for some of this game. I just don't know how often in the NFL you destroy opponents. No matter who you are, no matter if you're the defending champs.
It happens, but it's just
very
it always
rare.
feels very fluky or just hit or miss, not, I guess, not predictable.
Now, look, the Bears, they don't have an advantage anywhere on the field. On the field. So you just go position by position group by position group. You look at the coaching staff. I mean, it's not close. Hey, I mean, Ryan Poles is out here, the GM of the Bears, talking about this week, and like,
we have adversity right now.
that's what's going on. Like, it's a mess. He's having to do press conferences midweek talking about his quarterback discussing
do 2 press conferences in a day.
In one day, yeah, his QB's doing 2 media availabilities. Their DC's getting, resigning and eventually maybe having some very serious legal problems. Reportedly, the FBI raided his house. What a mess. We're not talking anything on Monday about this thing going south. Don't worry, Cody.
Be turnover. I'm trying to think about the other ways in which they've lost this game. And it's fairly simple. It's always turnovers, right? They fumble the ball, throw picks they shouldn't. It's lack of pass rush. But at this point, I know it's very early, but last year this team was second in the NFL in sacks, and through 2 games, Gold, maybe you don't agree with this, they look better than last year's pass rush. Or at least equally as good, right? They don't look worse. They don't look like they've regressed as a pass rush unit. So that's another way you typically lose. Or if somebody just destroys you. Point to me the player on the Bears you think can just take over and beat you. Let's say like Deebo Samuel in the game last night, right? DJ Moore? DJ Moore is just going to take over an entire game and go for like $160. They don't have the tight end that can do it. They don't have the defensive end. They don't have TJ Watt, who just ruins the matchup and can get the better of you and change the outcome of the game. The only answer would be Justin Fields, and he's playing his worst football ever, maybe. Like, it just takes so many little things to feel like that would even be plausible. I think turnovers would obviously be the most important thing because that seems obvious. But I can't get over the fact that they lost a turnover battle last week. Lost a fumble on a punt return. Mahomes threw a pick. They gave up the ball multiple times last week and still won the game and really, honestly, never trailed for any length of time. They pretty much led that thing from halftime, through the second quarter on. Never relinquished it, even with those mistakes. But the Bears are going to get them in that scenario? No way. Just no way. I know. I can tell you, though, if we did walk in here, it'd be bleak. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not going to have a lot of rosy pictures of forecasting how things are going to get better quickly if they do actually lose to the Bears.
The only explosive player on offense they have is DJ Moore. And I guess you could say Justin Fields if they let him run.
Yes.
And that's it. Darnell Mooney's hurt. They like their tight end Cole Kmet, but he hadn't done anything.
Someone saying the text line they would take the Bears wide receivers over the Chiefs wide receivers.
Yeah, Mooney's hurt, so they're down Mooney possibly. He's limited. Chase Claypool, they are threatened to kick him off the team if he doesn't start playing harder.
He literally got
DJ Moore is the only player on their offense that actually I would want to have on my team.
Yes.
I'm dead serious, by the way, with that. That's not hyperbolic or anything. DJ Moore is the only player I'd want to pluck from their offense.
You do realize that the national storyline right now, text line, not you, Gold, is that Chase Claypool is quit. He's quit on his team. He is showing signs of absolutely zero effort at all. So, yes, DJ Moore is the only wide receiver who is definitively better than the other wide receivers available to the Chiefs, even considering some of their. But I think that the point you're making on the text line is, no, he's not technically a wide receiver, but they do also have Travis Kelce, who you would take over DJ Moore. So you would still take one weapon for one weapon. Maybe you draft DJ Moore second in that list. But then 3 of the next 4 or 4 of the next 5 guys off the list are probably going to be Chiefs players. I'll be honest. I'm not jumping off the boat for, Darnell Mooney, who you said is not even going to play.
He's limited. We'll see. Yeah, he's limited right now.
Or Chase Claypool, who has straight up, maybe borderline, quit on his squad. So I don't remember who it was. Matt Verderam yesterday on The Drive was talking about that. Verderam grew up in Chicago.
Still lives there.
Still lives in Chicago now. Or grew up in New York, but lives in Chicago now. And talks about those things. Here's what, if you're just like, no, I like Claypool. Here's what he said about Claypool yesterday.
If you sit down and you watch that week 1 tape of the Bears and the Packers, it is glaring. I mean, it is jarringly obvious how much he didn't care in that game.
Does that sound good?
Jeez.
Does that sound like something you once said about your wide receiver?
Well, the team, again, the team reportedly told him basically start putting in some effort, or we're going to make an example out of you. We don't care what we traded for you just a year ago.
They gave up the 33rd overall pick for him.
What's crazy is Chase Claypool, 2 years ago, I would have been all about Chase Claypool.
Same.
It's just amazing how quickly things shift. But Chase Claypool,
was that the 2022 draft they gave up that pick? Or was that this most recent draft? Did they just trade for Claypool, or has he been there a full year?
Yeah, I get it. People are saying that I'd take Claypool all day. He's been underutilized. Again, 2 years ago, I would have been all about Chase Claypool. Right now, he just doesn't look like the same wide receiver at all. Whether it's effort, whether it's he's not
underutilizing himself. He's not trying. By the way, that's part of the reason Pittsburgh was willing to let him go.
Correct.
It's not an accident that they were willing to let go of a player who 2 years ago looked like, wow, another in a long list of wide receivers that seemingly the Steelers turn out of nowhere.
He's still only 25, which is why the Bears were willing to trade for him. But 2021, 860-yard receiver.
I feel like there's also something to appreciate with the no nonsense with Andy Reid and the staff is that none of these guys that they currently have now have any sort of ego, if you will. I mean, even Juju Smith-Schuster had the whole thing in Pittsburgh where he's doing the TikToks and all that stuff and dancing on fields, and then he comes to Kansas City, and there's really none of that.
I know.
No, he actually pretty much started a first press conference to be like, I'm not talking about that stuff anymore. And then he did that, he did that ad about.
Well, we play that all the time.
He did that one, but other than that, yeah.
No, Andy. I think a lot of it's not only just Andy set up the locker room and the leaders that are already there, but you have a winning team. It makes it easier for everybody to buy in, right? I think so. Anyway,
I think so as well. Were you looking?
We gotta get going.
There
to start.
One good thing about defense, separate from this, is so part of the pass rush conversation we've had, I know that I myself get tired of it. So there's not the sack stat to put proof to it. I think we might have something here with Leo Chenal. You heard Pete mention him earlier when talking about the versatility at linebacker in case Willie Gay or Nick Bolton could be limited or out for this game on Sunday. Chenal's showing me something. I'm starting to believe there's a level of talent there that can increase. I know you were talking about last year, the way they could use Chenal as a pass rushing linebacker, and that was part of the thing you really liked about him coming out of the draft. No, we didn't see it much last year until the Super Bowl, which he had a single best game. It's starting to click. They are using him like a versatile outside pass rushing linebacker, and it's working. In his snaps in the last game, he got a pressure on the quarterback almost half of the time he went after them. So they found a role for this guy that seemingly is working. This is part of the reason their linebacker crew is so great. But Chenal has a job, and he is great at that job.
Yeah, it is true. Right out of Wisconsin, that was the story about him. Not only that they're freak athletically, but could he be someone they just use in specialized packages, right? That was the conversation last year.
Yep.
And they didn't really until later in the year. But now we're seeing it here early on, week 2, week 3 of the season, and that is what's exciting. It gives him another element to potentially getting after the quarterback. You want to have different options, not only because of depth, but if you feel like you need to generate pressure in a different way, now you're getting out of the linebacking core as well. We know they can generate it with Snead at times as a corner coming off the edge or coming off the edge and blitzing. So I think overall, when you look at Chenal's role right now, I think it's only going to increase, though, as the season goes on. Like, it just is taking some time. I think as the season goes on, we're going to see more and more of him. And, yeah, it's a good opportunity this week. If Bolton's not able to play, even though they don't play the same position, still more likely to see Chenal on the field.
I mean, it just doesn't – I'm 100% with you, and you might as well use him more. I'm just optimistic that for the first time I feel like in a while, these last 2 years defensively, the Chiefs are doing what really good defenses do, which is every single player who seems to enter the defense is just a little bit better than you thought. Chenal's a little bit better than you thought. Jalen Watson, a little bit better than you thought. Bolton, I don't even care, like second-round linebacker, a little bit better than you thought. Karlaftis, Felix Anudike-Uzama. All the players that were like, how much are they going to contribute? They're young. It's early. Is it going to be that much? They just drag these players in, have the role designed for them, and it seems like it's going smoothly almost immediately. I know it took a little while for Chenal to get playing time, but the second he stepped on the field, and we talked about it, his best game was in the Super Bowl. He was great in that game. Now he's getting more playing time in a specialized role, and it already works.
Yeah, that's Drew's guy already. He's a Wisconsin guy. He's already a big fan of Chenal.
He is wearing a Wisconsin shirt today.
Wisconsin's playing tonight. And thinking of that, let's give away some pizza from the other place. A large specialty pizza, 254. We'll do 9. Number 54, we'll make Drew not have to do 54 callers. So how about 9?
That's nice.
Caller number 9, 913-586-7610. Caller 9, 913-586-7610.
Juju's number instead.
7610. That's right. Yes. Thanks to the other place. There you go. Someone says, isn't it Chenal? No. We've had this discussion before.
Okay, so...
There's 2 things we need to clear up. Number 1, for many, many months, including right after the draft, it was Chenal. If you look at the pronunciation guide, it's Chenal. It is.
And the radio crew started calling him Chenal?
It's Chenal. It is Chenal. Everybody was calling him wrong by the wrong name initially, but it is Chenal, according to the Chiefs pronunciation guide. The other one we have to figure out. We actually were discussing this in our pre-show meeting just randomly. We've noticed that people are calling Rashee Rice something slightly different.
Rashee Rice.
I've heard it from Kling. I've heard it from Mitch Holthus, and they're part of the radio crew, so maybe they got some insight on this. I thought it was just Rashee Rice.
And they're saying Rashee
And
Rice.
I heard Kling yesterday in our conversation with him, and multiple times now, calling him Rashee Rice. It's not in the pronunciation guide, so I don't know. I thought it was just Rashee Rice. We got to have Rashee Rice on the show.
A Cody and Gold investigation. It's been a while.
I think it's just
Rashee. Been a while
Rashee.
since we did a
But
Cody
Rashee?
and Gold. But why
Rashee.
would 2 people from the radio network who have to study pronunciations be pronouncing it that way?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe we're wrong.
That's what I'm thinking.
Look,
If they had some insight, the fact that
think
Mitch
of all the names
Holthus
you
is
pronounced
calling
wrong.
him.
Marquez.
Yeah, we have that
Go back
down,
to the
though.
Royals, Bonifacio.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's been a lot of names over the years that we have mispronounced for some time.
All right, well, the name is Marquez, by the way.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want to mess up, man.
You know. sometimes we think we have it right. We think we've asked the question. And look, we had this whole thing with the text line about Enudike Uzama, right? Remember, it's like, are you pronouncing it right? I'm like, I'm the pronunciation guy. That's how he says it.
Yeah, Felix Enudike Uzama, right? I think we're good there.
But we got to find out about Rashee Rice.
I think it's just Rashee. You think it's different now?
I don't know. They're like emphasizing it different.
Rashee versus
It's making me second guess myself.
Okay. Look,
Text
here's
line
the
has
thing.
any answers,
All
I'm
it takes is for him to have a massive game, and then everybody will get to the bottom of this. If he goes out there and gets a touchdown and 60 yards on Sunday, then people are going to make sure. Because on the CBS broadcast or the Fox broadcast, I'll be curious, what do they call him? My guess is they say Rashid, right? If they say Rashee on the Fox call, so then we know that the Chiefs are giving the broadcast crews different info, and that's the name.
So someone's asking if there's an enunciation or pronunciation guide on the Chiefs website. There is, but it does not say how to say Rashee.
He's not listed because they don't put a pronunciation guide for Patrick, okay? Because it's like, Patrick, just like there's not one for Rashee because it's Rashee, we think.
But there is for Chanel.
And that's how we know.
And that's how it's
glad we clarified. Well, what a thrilling conversation on pronunciating.
People want to know. They want to know what to call maybe their future favorite players.
That's right.
And didn't Drew watch every Wisconsin game? What do they call during the Wisconsin games?
It was Leo Chanel.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The pronunciation
I think some of it is
Chanel.
like you're 19 and you feel bad correcting people.
Maybe
so you just let people call you the wrong. I'm telling you, Jorge Bonifacio, which is how his name is pronounced, he was on this team and in the big leagues, and his brother was in the big leagues for years. And nobody said anything about the mispronunciation of their name. And then one day he was just sitting in his locker and he's like, hey, by the way, it's not Bonifacio, it's Bonifacio. And you're like, wait, what? Since when? Why did you let us keep pronouncing it this way?
I feel like, I mean, for it to be that long, you almost just get used to it. It's odd for him to bring it up that late.
Thinking of name, what was the name of the gentleman or gal that won the pizza? What was the first name? You remember? Who just won?
Tyler was his first name.
We can pronounce
Rashee.
Tyler. Tyler. No pronunciation needed. Congrats to Tyler.
It's a lot easier. His brother, by the way, was Emilio. Is that right?
Emilio Bonifacio. Yep.
Bonifacio.
By the way,
Bonifacio.
Little update for practice today from the media that are there. Kadarius Toney is back at practice, which is obviously limited. Who knows? We'll find out later.
15 snaps. Is this man ever going to play a full game in which he plays?
But the fact that he's practicing,
snaps on offense?
The fact that he's practicing is a good sign.
It is a good sign. Normally, if you can get back on the practice field by Friday, you're there. So, is any update on anyone else?
That's all I see right now.
Okay.
From those that are at.
All I was saying is that Adam Schefter says that the Panthers have officially ruled out Bryce Young, which I think we all knew. Which means Andy Dalton is going to start on Sunday versus the
Bryce
Seahawks.
Young might miss a week or two with an ankle injury.
Well, size is still an issue for him. There's almost no doubt about it. But also, I just feel like when you're talking about grow up, How immature are you? You're 32.
Okay. Drew looked at me and thought the exact same thing. And there's somebody.
Well, he's a kid. He's the youngest member of this show.
Okay.
By multiple years. You're 27?
Yes.
Who else do you think size is a problem for, Cody?
Just him.
Okay. All right. That's the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Coming up next, we'll get to what's trending. And one thing we haven't talked about, but they really should here on the offense, and that is maybe a revenge game for somebody on Sunday.
Chiefs fans, it's Jawan Taylor. Don't miss Cody and Gold weekdays starting at 10 on 610 Sports Radio.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. All you got to do is place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel for this football season, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is super easy to use, and you got a wide spread of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. And I love the boost. Great bonus options from FanDuel. So visit FanDuel.com, use my promo code CDOT, and kick off this NFL season. FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL, and also 610 Sports Radio. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after retreat. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC, Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com. Well, it's a Red Friday right here on 610 Sports Radio, and also with my friends over at The Other Place. Make The Other Place your sports watching headquarters with 3 great Kansas City locations, Shawnee, Olathe, and downtown Overland Park. Plus, they're opening up a new one in Mission and Belton.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and there's a lot of reasons why you should buy from us. Locally owned Subaru retailer in Kansas City. And you'll want a Carfax history report, of course, and a comprehensive multi-point inspection. And your first maintenance is free. Best of all, every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. You'll fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
This service contract is not provided or backed by the manufacturer of the vehicle. The manufacturer of the vehicle is not responsible for the claims or repairs under this service contract.
Kevin Harlan here. Ann and I loved our new Champion heating and cooling system this past summer.
Our house was always a perfect temperature, and it was so quiet. The humidity control worked like a champion.
And Annie, our energy savings and lower bills came true just like Champion said they would.
Now we're looking forward to keeping our family warm this winter with our Champion Premium Furnace.
Find your local Champion dealer at championhomecomfort.com, and don't forget to ask about their free 10-year parts and labor warranty. Always leading, championhomecomfort.com.
Want a new car at a used car price? I'm Jeff Davis, owner of Volkswagen Lee Summit. Right now, we have a surplus of new cars, so everything is seriously discounted.
Get up to $4,000 off the 23 Taos, $5,000 off the 23 Tiguan, $6,000 off the 23 Atlas, and up to $10,000 off the ID4 EV. Hurry in before we run out of 2023s.
Don't miss our surplus sale at the #1 Volkswagen dealer in the Midwest. Visit VWLeeSummit.com.
Based on 2022 VW retail reports, financing through VCI OIC. Call 816-841-7383 for details.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
Outdoor America with Tommy Bench, Saturday mornings on 610 Sports Radio at 5 a.m. and the Odyssey app. This week, Tommy answers your questions. Outdoor America, presented by Wholesale Batteries, the right battery the first time.
Hi, it's Derek Johnson, and I know there's nothing better than being part of a team. A group of great people you can count on and learn from. The Sheet Metalworkers, local #2, are growing their team and looking for quality men and women who want to build Kansas City's future. While you're making KC a better place, you'll also get great pay and benefits while gaining lifelong skills. Explore the possibilities at sheetmetal2.org. That's sheetmetal2.org. And take a step towards a fulfilling and rewarding way of life.
Home is where the heart is. At Anthony, 70-plus years of trust. Safe, reliable, local. Your home, our commitment. Schedule online today at anthonyphce.com.
It's touchdown Kansas City when you sell your home to Rex at rexbuyskc.com. The champions when it comes to buying homes in Kansas City.
That's right, Mitch. We'll pay more for any home. No hassles or strings attached. We'll buy your home as is for quick, instant cash in only 7 days.
Every home seller scores more with Rex. Rex and his team buy homes for any reason. Bankruptcy, foreclosure, probate, damaged or vacant homes, as is, and you rush away with instant cash.
Homeowners, don't get sacked with a poor financial decision. Call me, Rex, now at 816-330-6000. Fair and honest prices, because we know bad things can happen to good people.
Tackled by big home improvement costs, roofs, plumbing, exteriors cost you thousands. Pocket that money and walk away debt and worry free.
Before you sign to sell, call me at 816-330-6000 or online at rexbuyskc.com.
Call the champions, Rex Buys Houses at 816-330-6000 or online at rexbuyskc.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
$10 says your local Staples now accepts Amazon returns. $10 says you can make those returns at Staples 7 days a week. $10 says you'll get in and out fast and easy. $10 says when you make an Amazon return at Staples, you'll get $10 off your Staples purchase of $30 or more. $10 says it's pretty cool to get $10 to spend on something you want just for returning something you don't. $10 says Staples will be your new favorite place for Amazon returns. $10 says you knew I was going to say $10 says. Offer good in store only. Exclusions apply.
Chickies and Pete's Crab House and Sports Bar is now open. Voted the #1 sports bar in North America by ESPN. Great food, seafood, handcrafted burgers, wings, and a game day experience for all ages. Located in the new expansion at Bally's KC. ChickiesandPete's.com.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motor Studios.
Come join 610 Sports Radio, Royals first baseman Vinny Pasquantino and his teammates for a football watch party on Sunday night, October 1st at Hollywood Casino as New York takes on KC. 610 Sports Radio, KCSP, Kansas City, WDAF, HD2 Liberty, always live on the free Odyssey app.
What's trending?
All right, let's check in on the hot topics trending.
Number one on What's Trending, injury update for the Chiefs. Pete Sweeney out at practice today. The good news, wide receiver Kadarius Toney is practicing. Likely going to be listed as limited and maybe questionable, but the fact that he was practicing with the sprained toe, a good sign. Isaiah Pacheco and Willie Gay Jr. now 2 straight days at practice, so that's also trending in the right direction. However, Nick Bolton and Richie James did miss practice again today. That means they missed all week. Richie James, we already knew was going to be much further down the road. Nick Bolton not practicing all week. I mean,
kind of feels like he's not going to play.
I don't think he's playing on Sunday, man.
They've got Drew Tranquill, who can handle the green dot responsibilities. I remember that conversation when we were talking about injury last year. But they do have some version of this that still works without Bolton. I'd like him there against a running quarterback against Justin Fields. Maybe you like the over in the rushing yardage. I still don't think it impacts the actual final winning team.
Yeah, Andy will speak at 1. We'll let you know if there's anything that's notable that comes out of that right in the middle of our Club 610 experience today.
McKenzie Nelson will be joining us by making a drink called a Martinez.
A Martinez?
That's what it is.
It's presented by Jay Rieger & Co.
It's a gin-based drink that I don't think will be super gin-heavy, if that makes sense.
Perfect.
Next up on What's Trending, all 3 locals in action this weekend. KU will be at home against BYU. They've announced a sellout crowd for that game at the booth. MU, neutral site game in St. Louis against Memphis. And K-State will take on their first Big 12 opponent. They'll have UCF this weekend. All 3 teams are favored to win this game. If they're able to do that, that would be actually kind of a tremendous start for the locals. That would mean the 3 locals are combined 11-1 in the first 12 games. The only loss coming against each other. I mean, I can't think of the last time we had that kind of start for the locals. You mentioned the last time KU'd won 4 straight to start a season in a row was the 1913 Kansas squad. I couldn't even find a stat for an actual player on the damn team.
2 straight 4-0 starts. The last time that happened was 1913 to 1915 or whatever. Crazy.
Do they even have stats from that squad?
I have no idea.
All they had was the coach, from what I could find. The coach of the squad, Arthur.
It turns out they didn't have StatCast back then.
They averaged 15 points a game and 40 points against them. What? Oh, God. Did somebody score like 100 on them? That's got to be a fake stat.
Next up on What's Trending, unfortunate injury news in the NFL. One of the better cornerbacks in the league, Trevon Diggs, out for the season. Tore his ACL in his left knee. Big blow to a Cowboys defense that's one of the best in the league. Certainly is going to have some impact. They're going to have some guys move around and step up. But, I mean, Diggs, you don't replace a player like him. I'm not saying the Cowboys defense is going to suck now, but that's a big loss and certainly makes them a lot thinner. And that means their second-year defensive back, Deron Bland, is going to really have to step up. But Cowboys right now look like it's 2 weeks in. look like one of the best teams in football and look like a real Super Bowl contender.
They're just also second most important defensive player. Like, that's it. Look at it from the
Having
Chiefs'
it
perspective.
practice, that's brutal. On a one-on-one red zone drill, sucks.
It does suck. This is now the second time we've seen a major knee injury to a player who've already suffered a major knee injury in their career. Nick Chubb earlier this year. Now Trevon Diggs.
He just signed a $97 million extension.
This is why he signed the contract. Look, we said this about Chris Jones. That would be the thing that would scare me the most about not signing money that is right in front of me, that is $80 million guaranteed in my face, is that tomorrow something bad could happen to me. And I just hate that feeling that these players don't get to cash in on it. Next up on What Trending, J.J. Redick was on his podcast this week, says, if the NBA is to expand, where does he want it to go? Kansas City. How about your guy, J.J. Redick? Well, Specs guy.
Not my guy.
He's a Duke guy. But
yeah.
J.J. Redick's podcast, by the way, if you are an NBA or college basketball fan, it is really, really good. The problem is, you and I both know, what are the two markets that everybody knows is getting an NBA team before Kansas City?
Vegas and Seattle.
Correct. That is the correct answer, Drew. Without question, those two are getting a team. Then you still got to battle through the other teams who'd be trying to get one. I think Kansas City would support an NBA team, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen anytime
No, I still think
soon.
the more likely between the two, if you told me in the next 10 years, is it's NHL. I would prefer NBA, but I think NHL is more likely. But it's still nice to hear. J.J. Redick, I think one of the other guys on his podcast mentioned how they like T-Mobile. They called it Sprint Center. We all do still, I guess. T-Mobile Center.
That feels even more disrespectful than when I still call it Sandstone. At least I'm not saying some other companies.
Well, that one's just they just got absorbed. They just bought out the other company.
Yeah.
They merged or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different. Whereas Sandstone just has had different sponsors for the last 30 years.
I believe, fact check me this, I believe it's Acrisure.
No, that's the Steelers stand. It's
Damn it.
Azura.
Oh,
Azura Credit Union. Acrisure is the
so close.
Is the Steelers
Azura.
where we
That
call
was
it
like,
where
what do
we
they
call
do?
It's a credit union.
Not Mazuma, different than that credit union.
It's a competitor.
Oh.
There you go.
We're just giving free advertising.
Covering
today.
all the credit unions today on the show. How about Community America, too? Let's throw them in the mix. That's what's trending.
They did my last car loan.
Look at you. There you go.
It's been like
Time for another
7 years.
Time for another one, Cody.
I don't have any car payments right now. It's kind of nice.
Well, yes. Very nice.
Fully outright own both of the Tapp family
car payments
cars.
suck.
It's kind of
Yeah.
nice.
Car payments definitely suck. Don't forget, though, we had Michael Massey, Royals second baseman and diehard Bears fan, join us earlier on in the show, getting us set for Chiefs and Bears. He did confirm he will be in attendance, along with Vinny Pasquantino, for our Chiefs-Jets watch party, which is taking place a week from Sunday night. It's Chiefs-Jets Sunday Night Football out at Hollywood Casino. We're going to have a fun watch party there at their Turn 2 Sports Bar. Can hang out, food, drink, bet on some sports, gamble a little bit.
Hang out with some Royals players.
Vinny Pasquantino, some of his teammates now confirmed Michael Massey, part of that, and some really, really cool silent auction items, and it's all going to benefit Wayside Waves.
Do you think Vinny invited Zach Greinke?
No chance. No chance.
Wow, you think Vinny didn't even pop over to the side and be like, hey, Zach,
my
what's up?
guess is, and
I know you like football. Want to come to my watch party?
We can ask Vinny next week.
I gotta ask him.
My assumption is, much like when he said he wasn't going to have an item or two from certain players, I think it's the same thing where it's like not going to bother or ask that player, even though they're teammates.
So you think he just left Zach?
I will be stunned if Zach Greinke was asked to participate. Yes.
I feel like he would be at least asked, though.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know how that works inside of a clubhouse. You know, you got 26 guys in there. Do you go to each person individually? Do you make a quick announcement like, hey, I'm doing this thing?
I'm guessing he
texted the group of friends he's the closest with on the
guys
team.
on the team. And Michael Massey, that's what Michael Massey said. Yeah, Vinny pressured me into going. He can do
remember-
that to Massey. They're friends. They're buddies. Now, I'm not saying they don't get along with everybody in the clubhouse. My point is, I think it's a little bit different. There's some players he's more willing to ask for their autographed jersey for the silent auction.
I just like the interaction would be so funny. Be like, hey, man, I'm going to do this thing. He'd be like, yeah, I'm not going to go to that. That's what it seems like Greinke would say, like, I won't be there. Not a thanks for the invite. Just, I will not be there.
It happens to be the last day of the MLB regular season, too. So that's why we're saying a lot of the players.
Vinny wanted to spin it with Kansas Cityans.
It's going to be fun. Looking forward to that, man. Reminder coming up at 1 o'clock again, Club 610, presented by Jay Rieger & Co. And as you mentioned, McKenzie Nelson from 41, KSHB 41, will join us in studio today for her second Club 610 experience. We'll ask her if she followed up on any of the dates that were offered from last time. She said there were multiple DMs sent to her. We'll see if we
can. A month later, she was showing us DMs that were still.
Yeah, so we'll talk to her about that coming up in there.
Maybe she'll let us open it up again. If you're interested.
I'm sure
Maybe
she'll
she's
love
interested.
that. I'm sure she'll love that. Meanwhile, back to Sunday afternoon. Chiefs, Bears out at Arrowhead. One thing that hasn't been discussed as much this week because of the turmoil in Chicago, it's been more about Fields' comments and their DC getting, in legal trouble and resigning and everything. It's also, Matt Nagy's not the head coach of the Chiefs. He's the OC. And he's going up against Chicago, and we know it's a fan base that ran him out of town, essentially, right? I mean, despite him taking them to 2 playoff appearances with Mitchell Trubisky. It's got to feel good if you're Nagy, if you go out and your offense has their best game of the season and you lay it on them. It'd have to feel good. I don't know if I'll go as far to call it the Matt Nagy revenge game.
If they drop 50 on him, I might call it that.
Okay.
It might be Matt Nagy's revenge if that's the
Andy's
case.
still calling the plays. That's why I struggle with this.
I know,
Nagy's
but he's a
during
big part
the
of
week,
the offensive game
during
planning.
the week, he's all part of the game plan. But on game day, Andy's calling the plays. I don't know. Like if Matt Nagy was the head coach, then I'm all about it's the Matt Nagy revenge game. But he's not the head coach. It's awfully difficult for me for a non-player and non-head coach to call it a revenge game.
I understand, but it was, to this point, his only head coaching opportunity. I know Andy never said anything bad about Phillies who's going out there. Nagy yesterday was at the podium, didn't try to bury Chicago and thanked him again for his time there and all of those things. But look at where Chicago was before Matt Nagy showed up and after. The few years before and the few years after, they were so much worse than they were with Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy took them to 2 postseasons. They won a division. They were a competitive football team the entire time Matt Nagy was there. They kicked him out the door. They've been averaging 3 wins a year since he was gone. They've been the number 1 overall pick since he left. And they drafted a quarterback. Was Justin Fields number 1 overall the year that they took him? Number 2?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Very high. Doesn't really matter. So 2 years ago, they were in the top 5 of the NFL draft, and they took Justin Fields. Then the following year, after taking a quarterback really high in the NFL draft.
Pick 11, round 1.
Oh, 11, okay. So pick 11, and then the following year, they're the number 1 overall pick. And they're still no good. I think Matt Nagy should want to take it out on them a little bit. He was given kind of a bad rap in Chicago. I think partly because they weren't, that final year, you could see that it started to crack. That this, I got to fix all of this in one single season. And that's when he started to make mistakes that I think are kind of uncharacteristic of the first 2 years he was in Chicago, where you're like, hey, man, what are you doing? What's this plan? Why does this look lost? And that's because you were turning the screws to the man, trying to get him to take a franchise that was still trying to drag Mitch Trubisky around for this purpose and do it. You know what else honestly probably got him fired in Chicago? And it's not even his fault. He didn't take it. That whole regime was wrecked the second they found out who Mitch Trubisky was compared to Patrick Mahomes. That was it.
Of course.
That was all she wrote on that whole unit. Nobody could survive that. You traded up to take Mitch Trubisky, and Patrick Mahomes, the most talented quarterback in NFL history, was available. You didn't have to trade up. He was there. Also, you could have taken him with your pick. That's going to go down as, I imagine that Chicago will talk about that the way Kansas City talked about that 85 draft for as long as they did. When they took Todd Blackledge, and it's like, oh my God, in that same draft was Kelly and Marino.
Of course.
And Elway.
Yeah.
They're just future Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer. And they took like the worst quarterback they could have taken in the first round.
Yeah, not to the same level, but we do that with every quarterback draft class. I mean, those are the extreme cases, right? If Tua gets hurt again, that's what Dolphins fans are saying about not drafting Justin Herbert with the Tua situation, right?
Right
and
now.
Probably, but if depending on what Tua does, you would lean.
Sure.
I would choose Herbert over Tua.
You're not like over panicked yet.
Yeah, but if Tua, worst case scenario, isn't able, a lot of people thought he might have retired. I mean, if he would have retired last year, then there would have been case closed on that.
You'd been kicking yourselves, asking whether or not you should have
So
done Herbert.
we can do this.
But quarterback is like, I mean, that's, to me, that's the one where at least it's even more fair to do it, Gold, because that's the one you can't get wrong. You know that if you do get wrong, your ass is on the street. I don't know that it's full, I still think that the winning margin, I still think they can cover. I know that maybe that's overly optimistic considering everything that's going on with Chicago. Sometimes they seem to have that bounce back. Listen to this. Matt Verderame was on the drive yesterday. This is part of the reason I feel this way. It's not just good team versus bad team. It's that the Bears have no advantage.
The more I look at the actual matchups, it's not even just that one team is a Super Bowl champion, the other one's 0-2, and had the number one overall pick originally for a trade. The matchup for this game is just atrocious for Chicago. This is a game where the Bears have one sack all year. They have no pass rush. Their corners are very young. Tyreek Stevenson is a rookie. Terrell Smith's a rookie. Okay, Kyler Gordon's in his second year, and he's kind of still finding his way, and he's been moved around the secondary. This is a horrendous matchup for Chicago. Like in every game, Mahomes is going to have all day to throw against young, inexperienced corners.
You cannot feel good about any of these matchups. I also think that what Pete said might be true too. I know that last week I called for I won't say it 2 weeks in a row because I don't think it's it. Like the Mahomes burned just absolute fire in his eyes. But they're mad. Usually mad Mahomes. And I get it. Last week maybe they could have been frustrated, but now it's 2 weeks in a row they haven't been scoring the football. Usually getting a ticked off Mahomes is a good thing for you, truthfully. I know some players you shouldn't play mad, but he's one of the guys you kind of want being pissed off.
Well, look, the last time they played was 2019, and that was the finger, counting on the finger game and all that. And it was 26-3, the Chiefs. I don't know, do you think the margin of victory will be 23? Like, that's the thing. The spread is 12.5. I don't think the Chiefs are winning by 23, but they did it in 2019, and this is a worse Bears team, by the way. This team right now looks way worse than the 2019 Bears team, and that was ugly. That was in December, too. This is only week 3.
I don't think it's out of the question. They're just so much better. The closest example I could find is that in the Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid era, they had to take on the Cardinals, a Steve Wilkes-led Cardinals team who was a top 5 pick in the draft, and it was a slugfest. It was way uglier than it should have been. So I'm not saying it's not plausible, right? It's clearly plausible. It has occurred. That Colts team last year is 10 times better than what this Bears team is playing at right now. The Bears don't have talent
And
anywhere.
that was on the road. That was a game on the road, too. This is at Arrowhead. And we've talked about this. Mahomes, while historically doesn't usually fare well against the spread as a double-digit favorite, covering, not saying he can't win, but covering, all 7 times where he covered, though, as a double-digit favorite, were at home. There is the Arrowhead factor here as well that you have to put in. They're not going to Soldier Field on Sunday. Bears are coming here. And, yes, there'll be some Chicago fans. It's a very expensive ticket. For this game. It has
come
been
down a little bit since Chicago.
I was listening to Carrington yesterday driving home, and he mentioned that it makes you upset even more now, realizing that this was a game that potentially was going to be in London and instead of the Miami game. And now seeing how we're talking about this being a crappy game and all this, this should be the game that was in London. I agree with Carrington. And at the time, the reports were that it was trending towards being the game in London. And then ownership maybe got involved and requested otherwise because it's a hot ticket, Chicago. Instead, we get Miami in London. This could have been the Miami game right now.
It wouldn't have been a 325. That feels like a...
No, and it also, you would be a lot more nervous because the offense isn't humming yet.
No, I'm fine
By
with
the time they play Tyreek in Germany, I think this offense will be humming and we'll be feeling good.
The NFL probably also realizes something. What you're talking about is not inaccurate because you don't want to watch one of the best games of the Chiefs season at 9 a.m. on a Sunday. I get it. But also, the NFL knows that they can't forever just throw duds overseas and expect their game to grow. They occasionally got to put some juice out there.
Well, there's a lot of Chiefs Dolphins. There's plenty there. My goodness.
Oh, yeah, infinite amount.
Now, they sell out these tickets just like that anyway.
No, but I just mean from like a in-country watch perspective and all that stuff. There's only so many Jags-Giants games. You can throw up for them and just be like...
Wow, there's only so many Giants-Cowboys games I can watch on Sunday Night Football even, let alone a game going over there.
Yeah,
it's Jags and Giants, but...
How quickly did you tune out of that game last night?
I was watching because I was sweating.
What were you sweating?
2 bets. Daniel Jones to throw a pick. He did on the final drive. Thank you, Danny Dimes.
That to the very end.
And one was a brutal bad beat.
You had McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey under 17.5 rushing attempts. If you go pull up the box score and tell me how many he had.
18.
He had 18. His last carry of the game was the 18th. They pulled him after he got his 18th mid-drive, almost like Kyle Shanahan. It was like, let's get him his 18. Let's get him out of the game.
Just got questioned. People questioning Kyle Shanahan?
I know it, man.
That's a much more niche bet.
I know.
Shanahan out here looking at the over-under for carries for Christian McCaffrey before the game would be degen behavior.
Yeah, I would have rather have had 25 carries and missed it by that many than literally his last carry being the 18th. So, but Danny Dimes, thank you for that pick. Got batted up in the air, and the Niners got the pick. So I did watch that game till the end because I had
a nice split.
Yeah,
if you bet the same unit size
would have lost
for
money.
both.
Yeah. Again, we don't unit shame on this show.
No,
we don't
Somebody
do that.
earlier mentioned that when I talked about the size of Bryce Young.
Yeah. I don't know if we've told you, Drew. We do not unit shame on this show. Talk about betting.
Yeah. What is your unit size? Do you discuss
I don't
that
share
publicly?
that. I don't share that.
Wow, that's private information?
That's very private, yeah.
Is that common in the gambling community to be a private thing?
That's the whole point of being labeled units. That's why it was created. So someone's not like, hey, I'm betting $500 on a game. You say, hey, I'm betting 5 units or I'm betting 1 unit. For someone that's $5, for someone that's 25, for someone that's 100. The whole point is that's literally why the unit thing exists. So you don't share what you're betting each game.
It makes it feel.
So when you're handing out picks, you say, I'm putting 1 unit on it.
But if that's
for
$1.
For you, that might be 5. For someone else, it's $1. For someone else, it's $1,000. You know what I mean? Like, it just depends. But we don't unit shame. Stop.
I'm just saying you could say what it is. That's all.
We don't unit shame on the
I'm
show.
not shaming the size. I'm just saying you could share it. That's all.
If he wins, then we'll disclose it.
Is that well?
No. I told you on the parlay that I hit a couple weeks. That was a $10 or whatever. I don't know, $20 bet, whatever. That was on a parlay.
It won you a lot of units.
What's the acceptable unit to bankroll size bet?
What?
If I'm betting, if my bankroll's $1,000, what unit size should I be betting?
Yeah, there is actually a calculation to that. It's much smaller than people think. Like if you
$5 or $10.
Yeah, like if you say you only have, I don't know, like $500 for the whole season to bet, you're not betting $20 a game. I'll tell you that.
You're betting 2 or 5.
You know, so yeah, that's technically how you should operate.
I'm not going to. I'm just going to be clear on that. So
please gamble responsibly.
Call 1-800-555. What is it?
Someone says measure. Someone says, well, we already did that on the air once. We're not doing that again.
Measure our nose?
We've already done that on the show before.
Yeah, we have done that.
We've already done that. That did happen. That was our old producer that did that.
Now we're going to announce shoe size. Is that what's next on this show?
I guess so.
Again, no shame here.
That's right.
I wear size 11 in men's.
Thank you for sharing.
Just so you know.
Thank you.
You're a little taller than me. What do you wear, 12s?
11 and a half.
Oh, okay. Drew, shoe size?
I am a 10.5. It really depends on the shoe, though.
Yeah, sometimes I'm an 11.5 depending on the shoe. I respect that. For the most part, I wear 11s. Now that we've established that.
Thank you. Thanks.
By the way, I'm telling you, when we go do the show bet later during Club 610,
okay,
I'm going to let you know right now whether we do individual bets like we did. We won 2 individual bets last week, or we do a parlay together. My suggestion is going to be the over Travis Kelce 74.5.
I knew you were heading that direction.
You know right now.
I knew it.
That's going to be my bet.
I get it.
He would have cleared that 15 of the last 20 games, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, that his
75% clearance.
The tricky part with him, frankly, is just whether or not you believe, even though he's practiced all week, whether or not you believe there is still some form of limitation in his own game. Not that they're limiting snaps, but does he feel right that he can have the same mobility as he did prior to the hyperextended knee? Like that's what it comes down to.
Now our guy Pete Sweeney is sharing a parlay bet
he
made last
not
night.
Unit size.
It does not say the size of...
He bet 3 units. See? Units.
3 units.
I do my best. If I do share a parlay that I'm, doing, I don't put the amount wagered or anything like that. I just put the actual, like, plus, minus, whatever it may be, and then the legs. I feel like that's required.
Depends on the day.
Unless you win, like, 25 grand or something like that.
That was a winning parlay Pete sent us, by the way, from last night. That's why he sent us the screenshot.
He was willing to pay the juice on the anytime Christian McCaffrey touchdown.
A lot of juice on that. 12 straight games, though, with the touchdown for Christian McCaffrey. All right, coming up next, we'll get to the random question of the day and a college football idea that was floated out that I think we all absolutely love. We'll tell you if it can actually happen, though, next.
Chiefs fans, it's Scott Moore. Don't miss Cody and Gold weekdays starting at 10 on 610 Sports Radio.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue KC. Live healthy with Blue KC.
Score big savings with Hy-Vee and the Kansas City Chiefs. Big points mean even bigger savings. Just shop Hy-Vee the day after a game and earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs' score and based on the amount you spend. If the Chiefs score 42 points, you save 42 cents a gallon with any $42 purchase. The more we score, the more you save. Win or lose, everyone scores the day after a Chiefs game only at Hy-Vee.
Offer valid in store only with lookup code 95345. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
You already get your groceries delivered from Hy-Vee, and that's great. But did you know you can also get your food delivered too? As in catered food? Give yourself a break from all the prepping, cooking, and the terrible, awful cleanup. Let Hy-Vee take care of your next get-together, graduation or watch parties, weddings, and holiday celebrations. Hy-Vee is happy to bring you the best food for breakfast, lunch, or dinner while you sit back and take all the credit. Contact Hy-Vee to cater your next event today. Voted Kansas City's best grocer.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
6 words that strike fear in the hearts of hospital and nursing home administrators everywhere.
Joint Commission, Accreditation, Protocol, and Reporting.
But Keller Fire and Safety is here to snuff out the worry. Keller knows all the protocols for compliance testing and reporting. They are helping hospitals and nursing homes in the KC Metro and Northeast Kansas avoid stacks and stacks of paperwork. When you need someone on your side, keeping the Joint Commission happy, call Keller.
Keller Fire and Safety.
KellerFire.com.
Fall is just around the corner, and home is the center of it all. At Ashley, seasonal decorating's a breeze with their range of designs and materials. Snuggle up on a family-friendly sectional or an ultra-modern sofa. Or gather outside and enjoy the crisp, cool air with a new fire pit or conversation set. From minor refreshes to total overhauls, Ashley has the essentials to make your home fall functional and fabulous. Shop in-store or visit ashley.com today.
Hey, did you know Vistaprint prints everything a small business needs? Like if a barbershop needs signage, we print outdoor signs, posters, and banners. Or if a ballet school needs merch,
1, 2,
we print tote bags, t-shirts, hoodies, hats. Or if a coffee shop needs a total refresh,
latte for Mike?
Vistaprint designs logos and prints it on menus, mugs, paper bags, anything. Because with Vistaprint, the printabilities are endless. Print it all with 25% off for new customers with code NEW25 at Vistaprint.com.
Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options that include spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/610Bob and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL and of 610 Sports Radio. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Americans take sports way too seriously.
That's unnecessary roughness. Dude, it's just the coin toss. Come take your matches seriously on tons of TVs at Bogey's Windy City Pub. Mouth-watering food, low happy hour prices, South Leawood. BogiesWindyCityPub.com.
MVP's bonus days are back at Lowe's. Shop Klein Tools and get 5 times the bonus points. Lowe's knows pros. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees, after applicable discounts, if any. Valid 9/18 through 9/29, subject to change. DeWalt offer valid through 10/11.
Inside the Huddle with Cody and Gold, each day from noon until 1 on 610 Sports Radio. Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue KC. Live healthy with Blue KC on the official radio partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. 610 Sports Radio.
Tackle your airport parking needs at Park and Go. Always the best service and always the best price at bookparkandgo.com. parkandgo.com. Open 24/7 and all spots are covered. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. Park and Go, family owned and operated.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results, and every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
When you get hurt in a car wreck, who do you think of?
You think of Mike.
Mike's got this.
After my car wreck, the first thing I thought was, Mike's got this. And his team got me $250,000.
Car wreck? Think of Mike. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Klein tools are new at Lowe's, pros. Lowe's knows you want top brands and quality products, and Klein Tools delivers. Right now, get the Klein 3-piece ModBox mobile workstation for $319.94 and the Klein 5-piece cushion grip screwdriver set for just $34.97, both exclusively at Lowe's. Shop the largest selection of Klein tools, the highest quality tool brand at Lowe's. Because Lowe's knows tools, Lowe's knows pros.
Welcome to the Continental.
From the world of John Wick comes a Peacock original 3-part event that takes us back to 1970s New York. The Continental.
This institution wields power beyond your imagination.
Let's take this house and everything that comes with it.
The Continental from the world of John Wick. Streaming now.
And away we go.
Only on Peacock.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way. Offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. Visit eatandys.com to find the location nearest you. Top your day with a smile.
Let me tell you about my good friend Andy from Andy's Frozen Custard. He's from Kansas City, never misses a game, and serves the world's finest frozen custard. Tailgate with a pick six, or grab a freshly made custom treat before or after a game, and tell him Mitch and Andy sent you.
Back here, Cody and Gold. Coming up in 30 minutes, Club 610 on a Friday, a Red Friday in Kansas City, presented by Jay Rieger & Co. We'll have McKenzie Nelson from 41. Join us in studio. A lot to get to. We'll, of course, have our game picks, our show bet that we have to finalize as well, and we'll get an update on how the dating or maybe the DMs went last time McKenzie was in studio with us.
Do you have an update for us on your dating life? Or
No, we did an update a week ago, so no change.
No change. That's fair.
No change in the last week.
Okay.
Did not have that.
Maybe it's like the T Swift situation. Maybe you're quietly hanging out with somebody.
I'm not quietly hanging out with anybody. I can confirm that. Not currently.
You know, the same
Taylor
as
Swift did
Taylor
not
would send a
respond to me.
text to Travis that says, have a good game. Someone could be sending you a text before the show, be like, have a good show, winky emoji, you know?
That's happened before, but not currently.
Okay.
Not currently.
Every once in a while, my wife will send, hope you have a good show.
Okay.
Every once in a while, right?
All right. Do you ever send, like, hope
Still,
you have a good day?
10 years.
To her?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. All right.
Come on, those are easy texts.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
So,
an
okay.
easy win. I don't know why you wouldn't send that occasionally. Not everyone, because then it comes off as disingenuous.
Or every day, yeah.
Yeah, not every day.
Yeah.
There is a text I send every single day, which is every day when I leave work, I just send a text, be like, look, I'm on my way home. You want anything?
Yeah.
Like, if I need to stop for something, tell me now.
That makes sense.
Because I don't want to run. Part of it is selfish. I don't want to run back after something later.
Text line says, still waiting for her, I think by her they mean McKenzie, to respond to their DM from last time. All right, we'll talk to McKenzie about all this coming up in about 25 minutes or so.
Someone on the text line called him Tiny Shoe Drew. That's just unnecessary.
Oh,
Because he has a half a size smaller shoe.
Than you.
There's no correlation either, by the way. So let's get that out of the way. Because I know where you guys are going on the text line. I just know. Right?
Good stuff.
During Drew's college football look-ahead earlier, we ran out of time to get the full picture, though, of something that was proposed for what they believe is the first time by actually an administration in college football. So this actually is back in Boise, Idaho. The first known proposal for relegation in college football. Basically, it would be a 3-tiered alliance of 24 FBS teams in the Pacific, the Mountain, and the Central Time Zone, with the opportunity for promotion and relegation at the end of each season. And it basically has been pitched, much like we see in European soccer leagues. It suggests the Mountain West and the Pac-12, as well as regional teams from the AAC, Conference USA, or the WAC could participate. All other sports, including men's basketball, remain in their current conferences in order to what they call maximize the opportunity for NCAA postseason automatic qualifiers. The first football tier would be a 5th power conference, but that would obviously come up with and rely on the college football playoff and the NCAA, who would award whether or not that's actually something that's feasible here.
This seems like a great idea. The only problem is you're never going to convince. So if you do this, you do have to do it the way they're kind of way discussed, which is like the SEC and the Big 12 and the ACC are not involved in the relegation part of it. All of our guys get to stay. Sorry. I know you like it, but we all get to stay. But the relegation idea, I know that a lot of American sports fans kind of are against it generally. The concept on its face is actually pretty good because it's kicking out these teams who cannot or are not competing at the highest levels and allowing some of these group of 5 schools that existed before to compete. The fact that we're still even mentioning the Pac-12 is an actual conference still to me is kind of funny. I know they still exist in this year. The other day, I don't know if you saw this, they had a press conference. They were like talking about something. They made a banner with just the 2 logos of the 2 remaining schools behind them in the biggest loser move of the century.
Well, I mean, the Mountain West has already talked about basically getting Oregon State and Washington and taking the Pac-12's name and intellectual property. That's something the Mountain West has considered, where they would just...
Pac-12's a better name than
So the
Mountain
Pac-12
West.
stays then, theoretically.
Yes.
And the Mountain West then...
would go away.
goes away.
Because Pac-12, as much as people have obviously made fun of it here recently, it still is a name that resonates far more than the Mountain West. But as far as the relegation thing, yeah, I mean, am I for it? Absolutely. Relegation should be happening in a lot more sports, but it's not, to me, going to happen in the United States. MLS can't even get it figured out, and that's obviously much closer tied to European soccer, and they can't even get it figured out. I don't believe this is ever going to happen. I love the idea. I don't know. I think it'd be great. I just don't know. You have to have cooperation from the people that are not impacted by it right now, that are fine.
Way too much money.
So
you
why
have to
would,
have started
yeah,
a league
exactly.
doing it.
Yeah.
You can't just
100 years
enter it
ago.
into a league. But the one thing that makes it interesting about college football is the reason why I think they'd be more likely to do it than any of the other leagues we just mentioned is they are still in their infancy of the like pure money-making portion of this, the 4-power conference. Like they have to rework parts of their system anyway. It isn't like, I think they've got to, eventually they're going to be looking at how they do their NCAA tournament model. They're already looking at their college football model. They are already having to redo some stuff, aren't they? I mean, that's the time to look at this.
I feel like this is something that's so exclusive to football, though. I mean, like, I know that they're looking at expanding the NCAA tournament, which they shouldn't do, by the way. There's already enough teams in there. It's already good the way that it is. Don't fix something that's not broke. College football, on the other hand, seems to be broken in some way, shape, or form. Like that, like with all of the realignment, they're visiting to look at the playoff again as if the structure of it for next year maybe could change. I don't know if they will change it or not, but there's so much, it seems like, changing and workmanship going on with college football that you have to just come up with something and just try to roll with it for a decade and just see if it works.
I think it's simple. I think each of the 4 conferences get 2 teams each in the tournament. That's 8. There are 8 at-large teams to make it 16, or 4 if you want to do 12, but 8 at-large teams. And 2 of those are guaranteed to go to group of 5, right? And you rank them out the same way you would. If they would have been the 25th ranked team and they get into the tournament because you allow them in the group of 5, great. They're the 16th seed. If they happen to be the 8th ranked team in the country as a group of 5 school, great. You're still the 8th seed, whatever it is in the college football playoff rankings, right?
Oregon State's athletic director, of course, has been pitched this proposal and went on to say that they see the value of it. Quote, I think that's coming. I think that's way too optimistic if you're Oregon State, thinking that this is actually something and a model that could come. If it does, it means already what you were describing, which is if that happens, then the quote-unquote big boys are doing their own thing, and then the smaller groups if these three conferences want to do their little relegation, maybe that I could see that happening. But the idea of everybody doing this together, I just don't think that's ever happened.
That's the road that we're going down, I think, and that's been talked about before, is the ACC, Big Ten, and the SEC are going to go and do their own thing, and it'll be a super conference of 45 teams or 50 teams, and then the little guys being whoever's left of the Pac-12, and then all the Group of 5 conferences can do their own thing. I would still love to see, though, out of all, say the number one team in that Group of 5 gets a shot at taking on the other guys.
So you want an automatic. So right now we know if you're ranked and you're the highest ranked Group of 5 team, you can get in the college
starting
football
next year. Yeah,
starting next year. So you want that to be even further. You don't have to be ranked. You just want the top Group of 5, whether they're ranked or not.
Well,
kinda.
Well, if they separate, then I think it has to be that way. But I would love to see, because we've seen small schools. We've seen Boise State, to their credit, they've beaten Oregon. Yeah. They've gone and beaten Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl, and that we would lose that aspect of college football that I think is still necessary, because if you do change things, you're going to see an upset, or the monumental upset would be Vandy beating Alabama or Rutgers beating Michigan or Ohio State, and that's not, a lot of people don't consider that to be a huge update. Plus, but by the way, there's Boise State, App State, and many other schools we can name, Tulane, South Alabama, are way better than Vandy, Rutgers, Northwestern. I mean, we can go down the line. So the fact that I would love to see the bottom 5 teams in this power conference move them down, and then the top 5 teams go up. And if you want to go up, but you're right. There's no way it's ever going to happen because of money.
If I'm in the SEC right now, even if I suck, okay, if I'm Vandy or whoever you want to use in this example, why on earth would I ever agree to this? Wait, I'm still getting the money from my athletic department, even if my teams in my program stinks. You said it, Cody. It would have, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, would have had to have decided to do this.
You kind of have to start. My biggest fear about all the realignment is, I don't care if they go alone in college football. It's the haves and the have-nots in college football anyway.
Right.
Be in a power conference or don't. You never mattered if you weren't in a power conference, except for the one time Boise State made some noise. That's the one time in 50 years I can point to somebody really mattering in the national title contention outside
Statue of Liberty, baby.
That's it. And my fear is ruining the NCAA tournament. And they're going to take it from what it is, 68-team field, and all of a sudden it's going to be...
like what they're talking about?
They're going to lower it. Once you get to 4 power conferences and there's only 80 damn teams in the thing anyway, you don't want all 80 teams in your tournament. You might take yourself back down to 40. You take that number down.
I feel like for college football, that would be
college basketball. College basketball, I don't think they have to adjust that.
All of the conference realignment, I think, would be they would make it for college football only.
Correct.
So college basketball would still stay the way that it is now.
If anything, college basketball is only going to try to expand the tournament. I'm not worried about the college basketball tournament shrinking. I've told you I don't want them to expand the college basketball tournament, because to me, we're not going to get more of the Cinderella story. We're going to get, to your point on football, we're going to get the 9th best team in the Big Ten. Instead, we're not going to get more Cinderella-type teams. I don't need to see the 16-win Rutgers get in as in an expanded 78-team field or something, or whatever you want to say, for college basketball.
I don't want to see a 8-win Ole Miss team have to play Alabama for the second time after they got throttled in Week 5 or whatever. Like that, I'd rather see Tulane get killed, because it's a different team. I do think that, real quick before we move on, you have the FCS playoff. Do something where you have an independent conference in FBS football, and the team gets promoted to the independent conference, and then the independent, if they lose, they go down to the bottom. Well, there's a way to experiment with it. I feel like
financially, it's much more challenging to do than in the Premier League. Obviously, there's huge financial windfall for getting bumped up, promoted, and relegated. You essentially lose all your players because you're not going to afford them. I think in college athletics, there's such a trickle-down effect that if I was a university and I was at a D1 level and I was counting on this money to come in to support my athletic department, and then one year we have a bad year and then I'm relegated, I mean that's devastating.
Yeah.
To the current student athlete. We're not talking about pros. We're not talking about pros.
Where there's an owner and it's holding them accountable.
We're talking about a kid that committed at 17 years old to go to a school. Freshman year, that program somehow sucks. They get demoted and relegated. To me, that's why this is a little bit different, because you're really screwing up with 18, 19, 20-year-old kids versus English Premier League team, someone's making millions of dollars, and now they get relegated. They'll sign with another team the next week.
That's also supposed to be the model in European soccer is that, let's just say for John Sherman in baseball, it forces you to stay competitive. There's no, hey, I'm going to sit, I'm just going to lose a little bit, get these. The Houston Astros run, that doesn't go down like that because you can't afford to get relegated in order to do it. It is a lot harder when we're talking about university presidents and ADs, not somebody who physically owns this property, if that makes sense.
Yeah. There you go. The first official college football relegation proposal actually exists now. Started over at Boise State. Of course it did.
They want to be included in the party, man.
Yeah.
They see themselves getting left out in the cold, and they're like, this stinks.
Yeah.
We'd like to be a part, please.
All right, let's get to the random question of the day.
Random question.
For you, Gold, for you, Drew, over in the text line, 913-586-7610, or on our many streaming platforms. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. I think that's it.
You can see who's rocking Red Friday gear and supporting Red Friday, and you can see who's not. Just check out the stream.
I'm wearing...
Two of us are.
A local company, and there's some red on my shirt.
Okay.
Does that count?
I don't think so. Drew's wearing red, even if it's Wisconsin.
He is wearing red. There, for the people on the stream.
Okay.
You might want to see him. There's Drew. He's wearing red. It's a Badgers shirt, but he's on there. But the question I have for you is, are the A's in the wrong for a situation that occurred regarding Miguel Cabrera's retirement? So, as you know, sometimes when really well-liked, really well-respected players retire, they get to do the old little retirement tour.
Farewell tour.
They get like a canoe if you're Derek Jeter from whoever. What the A's gave the other night was a bottle of wine signed by the players on the A's.
Right.
But upon further research, people have found out that bottle of wine cost just $90. Right. A nice bottle of wine. A wine I've had a couple of times. It's Camus, by the way, if anyone's interested. Are they in the wrong for only spending $90 on their gift for Miguel Cabrera?
So I laughed, and I thought the answer was, well, yeah. What are they giving a guy that's made hundreds plus $1 million in his career, hundreds of millions of dollars in his career, a farewell gift, which is essentially a just nice bottle of wine that the team signed, and that's it. Then I did some research, and I saw what other teams gave Miguel Cabrera. And I'll be honest, maybe not as bad as we think in hindsight. The A's are easy to pick on, right? Owner's cheap. They're going to move to Vegas. Nobody goes to the games, all that.
Did someone just go to a liquor store and say, hey, do you have one nice bottle of wine?
Yeah, I'm sure they sent the clubby. They're like, oh, shoot, we forgot. We have to get a gift for Miggy. Go get a bottle of wine. So the Baltimore Orioles gave Miguel Cabrera a signed plaque. They had a plaque on it, brick. Okay?
Just a brick?
Just a brick. Now, of course, if you've been to Camden, you know that like there's the brick path outside the stadium. If you had a home run, like Alex Gordon has, it's marked. If you had a home run, they mark it outside. Anyway.
So, I mean, that's at least sentimental.
But that's not anything much better. Getting a brick is not much better than the bottle of wine, okay?
You sure?
I think so.
It's got to have more intrinsic value than $90.
Sure. But how much did the brick cost? You're just saying that you would rather have them giving him. What were they supposed to give him, by the way?
Royals,
honestly,
here's the thing.
What should the A's have given him, though, real quick?
I'm going to go, I don't know, like money to his charity or something.
Money?
The Royals gave Derek Jeter's charity $10,000.
Yeah, that's Derek Jeter.
Gift.
What did they give Miguel Cabrera?
I don't know that they've given him anything, man. I don't want to say for sure. I can't find
text line's correct. We're harsh, you know.
He got cufflinks. I'm looking at Jeter stuff. He got a custom-made bench made out of bats and balls. He got a canoe. He got a guitar.
Yeah, Jeter got way better stuff than Miguel Cabrera got all years, what I'm telling you.
Miguel Cabrera is far more likable.
Well, you don't like Derek Jeter. We established this throughout the show multiple times.
He's also a likable person. We have to admit that.
He's very likable, but I'm just telling you, Jeter got better gifts than Miguel Cabrera did.
Someone on Twitch, someone correctly pointed out, Mickey made like $400 million in his career. How many years did you have to add up of A's payroll to get to $400 million?
Yeah.
Like 6 or 7?
Yeah, they said they got $1 from every fan in attendance to help pay for that bottle last night.
Dude, $90 is an embarrassing low figure. Gold, that's what we would get. Like, okay, Drew's last day. Maybe we get him a $90 or $100 gift.
Jeez.
Well,
that
I'm
was
just saying,
quick.
if he quit.
That was quick.
If Drew quit, maybe we'd get him a $90 or $100 present. Like, hey, good luck in the future, man. Poor sports radio people.
Yeah, someone said that the Royals gave Miguel Cabrera 100 home runs. That's what they gave throughout his career.
Would Salvi get better gifts than Miguel Cabrera, do you think?
No.
If he were to go on a retirement tour, if you will.
Miguel Cabrera is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's a different level, with all due respect to Salvi.
I feel like you got to go more. I think you got to be.
It is funny, though.
I think you got to be in that, like, $500 range, maybe $1,000, but you bare minimum. You're going to be $500. These people are worth billions of dollars who own these teams. Even if it was just the teammates who chipped in. What is that? There's 26 people. They all gave $3.
What's your feeling in general,
Miggy a
though?
bottle of wine?
What's your feeling in general on these farewell tours? Because honestly,
unnecessary.
Exactly. That's what I was getting at. So we can make fun of the gift, but also, why does every team feel like they have to give an opposing player a gift? I get it. Obviously,
nice
fundamental
thing
piece important to the game and Hall of Famer and all
If you work 40 years here at Odyssey, do you think that they owe you a gift?
Well, I know I won't get one, but
would you like one? Would you like a gold watch or whatever?
Sure. Yeah.
I think Zach Greinke should have taken advantage of this and said, you know what? After this year, I'm done, and then he just see what he gets. I feel like that's what guys are kind of doing now, where they announce the year before they're going to retire, and then just see if they get anything.
I mean, it is a little weird to give a person $300 million. It's kind of like having a second or third baby shower. You're like, what are we doing this for? Don't you have this baby stuff? You already have a stroller, right? You had it.
But you're right. We had the discussion about Mahomes and his birthday, and you're like, just because someone makes a ton of money and has money doesn't mean they don't like gifts still. People, who doesn't like still getting the gift? I don't care how wealthy you are. You still like having someone give you a gift.
If you go on a tour, though, are you not kind of, putting it on the other team's shoulder?
But he didn't go on a tour. He just said, I'm retiring. You're allowed, and if people just give you gifts because you say you're quitting, who am I? If Gold says, I'm done in 6 months from Cody and Gold, people just start giving him gifts. What, he's supposed to be like, no, I don't want any of these
Well, yeah,
gifts.
he's going to take them, but I'm just saying that you didn't really need to say that, because it's like you know what you're doing, even though you're not admitting what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm with you on the athlete. Like, overall, I don't need the athlete to give me a year notice that he's retiring. I really don't need that. Just retire. We can speculate all we want, and then at the end of the year, retire. I don't need you.
You don't need advance notice
telling me that, hey, this is my last year playing. I don't need that. Just play it out, and then maybe the last week of the season announce that, hey, this is going to be your final run. Like Alex Gordon waited till very, very late, correct?
Yeah, he knew for a while.
He knew. I'm not saying they don't know, but
no, he waited till
he didn't drag it. He didn't drag it out. I respect that.
He didn't want to tell. They eventually just kind of.
Someone also brought up, too. People brought up Miguel Cabrera in the past has dealt with alcoholism as well. It's like, why are you giving the guy?
That's not great.
Wine?
If you're Zach Greinke, though, and you get one more start, and say he is going to retire, I feel like you would take advantage of that. Try to pack Kaufman. Hey, I am going to retire after this year, and see if you can sell out the place so everybody can go see Zach Greinke one more time. I feel like there's a way to go about it.
Anyway, Oakland A's $90 bottle of wine was their gift to Miguel Cabrera in his last game at the Oakland Coliseum, or whatever that was called.
I believe I found the gift the Royals gave him.
Okay.
They gave him a gift that was a framed photo of when he won the Triple Crown.
Okay, that happened at the K. Okay,
Stadium,
that's cool.
And a $10,000 donation.
Good on the Royals.
To his foundation.
Good on the Royals.
Royals are good gift givers, you know?
Good on them.
Not the A's. They're good gift givers. $10,000 and a framed photo of when he won because you remember he won the Triple Crown.
Yeah, it was a big deal. And fans gave him a standing ovation and everything.
Yeah.
I remember that was a very cool moment, actually, for an opposing player.
Royals are way better at this. A's could learn a valuable lesson in this.
Well, the A's are, let's be honest, the A's are a little bit different. They're just flat out sheep, and their owner sucks.
Yeah, they're a mess of an organization.
I mean, there was maybe 1,000 people at the game last night, maybe 500 at the Oakland A's game.
Watching Miggy get a $90 bottle of wine.
I don't know when it took place, but yeah. Someone says at least get a bottle of Dom. I agree.
Yeah, like I'd be spending triple the amount for Jordan Lyles wins than they spend on Miggy. I saw it on sale at Hy-Vee, and I almost popped. I was like, oh, man.
Hy-Vee just has it on sale?
Dom was on sale. It was
what? What was it going to run you?
Probably like $60 less, like $220, $225. Normally it's like a $300 bottle. I thought
you should have bought it just in case we had other bets, because we're betting Dom for everything now, it sounds like.
Well, what am I going to do? Store this at my house forever? Yeah. You got to store champagne a certain way. It's got to be at a certain cool temperature. I'm not holding on to a bottle of Dom that long. I'm not cellaring it for a year. That's a little too intense.
Put it in the basement. It's a random question of the day.
It's got to stay colder than that.
Up next, thinking of drinking a little bit. Club 610 on a Red Friday, presented by Jay Rieger & Co. We'll talk a little bit about, of course, our show bets, our predictions for Sunday, and McKenzie Nelson from 41 joins us in studio here on Cody and Gold.
There's
Kelce to the end zone.
Cody and Gold brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com. Don't miss the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day at 11:30 on your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
Enjoy all of your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. It's never been easier to join BetMGM's new and improved app. Sign up using code BETKC and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and the best daily promotions in the business. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. You can also check out the weekly free-to-play game, 8-Bit Berry Game, on the app. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. BetMGM.com for T's and C's. 21 plus to wager. Kansas only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. Bonus bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
Right before Cody and I were doing a show, his glasses completely snapped in half. And then I was going through all the scenarios of, well, how are you supposed to drive home from work? How are you supposed to get through your day? Maybe you're going to have a headache because you can't see. All that stuff that was a pain in the you-know-what, I don't have to deal with anymore because I don't wear contacts. I don't wear glasses. I definitely don't have to worry about making sure I have a ride home if something like that were to happen because I just see with my own two eyes thanks to my friends over at DuraVision. I underwent SBK Advanced LASIK a little over 2 years ago. I cannot believe it's already been that long, but now it just feels normal. I wake up, I see each and every day. It was the best decision I ever made, calling DuraVision for that free consultation. It's what you need to do as well. 913-491-3330 or go online to DuraVision.com. And right now, you want to make sure you don't let another summer pass you by with glasses or contacts holding you back, keeping you from having fun, saving you time in the morning, as a matter of fact. So take advantage of DuraVision's exclusive end-of-summer LASIK savings and save up to $1,000 on your procedure.
Fall is just around the corner, and home is the center of it all. At Ashley, seasonal decorating's a breeze with their range of designs and materials. Snuggle up on a family-friendly sectional or an ultra-modern sofa. Or gather outside and enjoy the crisp, cool air with a new fire pit or conversation set. From minor refreshes to total overhauls, Ashley has the essentials to make your home fall functional and fabulous. Shop in-store or visit ashley.com today.
Brace yourselves. Heating season is coming. It's hard to think about right now, but this is the absolute best time to prepare for a warm and comfy winter. Don't wait until you're cold to make the switch to an Energy Star certified, compact, high-efficiency boiler from Navient. Find your local Navient installer at boilercomfort.com.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate. The best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Luke Combs here, and I have an exclusive opportunity for you to win $500,000 with the Living Lucky with Luke Combs lottery experience. Join me in Nashville for a private concert at the iconic Ryman Auditorium. One lucky winner will win $500,000 at the end of the show. Y'all feeling lucky? Enter today.
Enter your Living Lucky with Luke Combs scratchers tickets at MoLottery.com for a chance to win a private concert experience and a chance at $500,000. Play it forward with the Missouri Lottery and play responsibly.
Inside the Huddle with Cody and Gold, each day from noon until 1 on 610 Sports Radio. Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue KC. Live healthy with Blue KC on the official radio partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hey!
610 Sports Radio.
Old Shawnee Pizza has expanded to the Crossroads with their OSP Express. Go to ospexp.com to order and use any third-party delivery system. Located in the Crossroads Food Stop at 16th and Campbell. Go to ospexp.com to order. Old Shawnee Pizza, now 3 locations.
Tailgates in turkey? Yes, please. This season, score a touchdown with U.S. soy-fed turkey. Versatile, tasty, and truly different, turkey can be used for succulent sliders, killer kebabs, championship chili, or even brilliant burnt ends. You can get all the recipes and register for a chance to win the ultimate prize pack worth nearly $2,000, including a portable Traeger grill, Yeti cooler, Chiefs gear, and much more at tailgatewithturkey.com. You'll be the pride of the parking lot. Come on, KC, turn up your tailgate at tailgatewithturkey.com.
I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. Everyone develops cataracts naturally as they get older. When your vision is affected by cataracts, you should see my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein at Silverstein Eye Centers. Dr. Silverstein is a world-renowned cataract surgeon who performs life-changing laser-assisted cataract surgery with premium lens implants to correct your vision up close and far away. Trust my eye doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein, Silverstein Eye Centers, 816-358-3600 to schedule an appointment.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue KC. Live healthy with Blue KC.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios.
Chiefs Kingdom, this is Mitch Holtis. Catch me every Monday with CDOT on the drive at 4 o'clock right here on your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
KCSB Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty, always live on the free Odyssey app.
All right, it's a Red Friday. It's the Club 610 here on Cody and Gold, presented by Jay Rieger & Co. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you, and McKenzie Nelson from 41 joining us in studio. This is, I think you might be the only person, other than our in-house employees, that have made it to a second Club 610. I think that means you enjoyed your first experience on Club 610. All right, let's get your mic on. Sorry. There we go. You're good now. You should be good.
I was going to say, I know I'm happy to be back. I love a good day club. This is the only club I will come to. So I'm happy to be back. We had a blast the first time. And
last time all you got last time was just a canned cocktail.
We've upgraded.
But it was good.
We've got signage.
I'm making full drinks now.
All right, so what are you making again? This is from Jay Rieger & Co. It's using the Rieger & Co. gin, right?
That's correct. That's for the people on the video stream. There you go. But yeah, so it's called a Martinez. I should have asked. Sometimes I'll ask our guests what kind of liquor do you typically drink?
Usually vodka, rum, whiskey,
well, this is gin today, but
fine with me.
So gin, sweet vermouth, maraschino cherry liqueur, orange bitters, and then I even made lemon twist for you.
We need to get you a bar cart over there.
Well, you know what? I think I need a mat. It is honestly, this is not the best bartending space. What I want is I just need a listener like Blair or something to build me one I can stand at here in the corner.
Saying, a little cart.
Just while I make, just for a couple minutes while I make the drinks. Not to stand the whole time, just long enough to make us a couple of drinks. So it's served in these I chilled the glasses.
Yeah,
I made a twist.
So fancy.
I went through the effort. I always make Drew one back there too.
So basically, we're having martinis today.
Yeah. I wanted to class it up a little bit.
Okay.
I love it.
Sometimes it should be, martini's a fine drink in the club.
While Cody's pouring the drinks, we'll enjoy them here in a second. I wanted to follow back up on a couple. There's a lot to get to. We'll get to some Chiefs. We got our show bet to do. We got to get your thoughts on Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, as we've been enjoying that story for the last couple of weeks as well. But the last time you came in, we had quite the time. You remember you took a few phone calls from listeners pitching themselves basically to go on a date with you. So a couple of questions. Number one, did you? And number 2, did the DMs continue long after the show?
Did I go on a date?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
I did not. But I actually just got a DM before I walked in here that said I wanted to be the first to message you before people started messaging, I guess, during the show.
Okay.
But it was a lot at first.
Like how many DMs did you get? Like
dozens.
Oh my.
On Facebook and on Instagram and on Twitter.
Wow, so every platform pretty much.
Wow. Okay.
Some of them I did not see. When you go to your request folder,
Right.
I didn't click on them because it's sometimes very scary in there.
Oh. Okay, I guess I should ask that then. How often does that happen? Where there's something sent that you definitely did not want sent.
Thank you.
In your
So
Instagram.
fancy.
In your Instagram DMs.
All the time. If I post anything, you could go through them right now if you want.
I'm good. I don't need I'm good. I don't need to. I'll trust you. I believe
It's
you.
a lot. It's scary in there.
I guess that makes sense. Being on TV, and then when we are on the show, telling people to pitch themselves, but not literally like that.
You're kind of in the dark right now because when we turn the lights off for the point of
You can turn the light back on. You can turn the light back on if you want.
Nobody can see all that well.
All right, so this we all have our drinks. We get Drew. We'll get Drew his as well. All right. Oh, you're okay. Cody's going over there. I was gonna do cheers, but we'll wait. We'll have to wait. Gotta wait for Drew to get his drink as well.
Look how fancy this is with the little
We've
lemon.
upped our game.
Oh
Cody's
my
not messing
goodness.
around with. I've learned this already because we all know he used to be a bartender. He loves doing the lemon twist.
I love it.
I think he enjoys doing that. That's like because he'll point that out a lot. I think that's like his thing.
And I really love the glass. Like
Yeah.
I'm surprised we're not having plastic.
Cody, I told her that I think you you really like the lemon twist whenever you do that. I think you really like doing the lemon twist.
A lot of drinks come with lemon or orange or lime.
This is so
Let's give it a
fancy.
shot. This again is from Jay Rieger & Co. It's a Club 610. It's called the Martinez.
Martinez.
Okay.
Martinez. Cheers.
This is an easy one to have at home. These are like, I had every ingredient here except for the maraschino cherry liqueur.
That's
This is
very
good. Bartender Cody.
And Gold's not even like a big gin guy.
I'm not, but we've talked about this a couple times. We had Andrew from Rieger in before, and when you put it together in a good enough cocktail, like even if you don't like gin, which I don't typically, it's not a heavy gin flavor or taste or anything like that.
I agree.
We got
I don't
the bitters
love
obviously
gin,
in there. Yeah.
but this
you
is
don't-
really good.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
It's a very smooth
job.
drink. That's the thing. Like, if you don't like, I always say that, like, we had one of those cocktails with Cafe Amar, and you're like, I don't like coffee.
Right.
And it's like a coffee liqueur. I'm like, no. Once it's in the drink, it's completely
Doesn't
different.
taste
It's
like
all
it.
not just drinking it on the rocks. That's different.
Do we have
Very
to
different
tip you? I don't have any cash on me.
No, it's
Do you accept Venmo?
Cody's gonna have
Honestly,
a
if you're a
little QR
bartender,
code.
one of these things, and you don't accept Venmo now, it seems just kind of out of question.
Yeah, you got to have a QR code in a
Yeah.
corner so people
Who has
can.
cash anymore?
I know. That's the issue.
I keep just a little bit.
You have kids.
Yeah,
They need cash for snacks.
And I keep like a separate, I just keep like a jar of cash that like for like poker or those things where like I've won or lost and it just sits in there. That
Okay,
way,
I thought you
don't
meant
have
you were
to,
carrying a jar around.
No. It's like my way of like not being like, well, I'm going to go play poker and I need a few $100. It already exists there. I don't have to like go to the ATM and solve all that. It's just like rotational gambling money.
A few
or if Gold and I have a
$100.
bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably like.
I think
well,
I
it
have like
depends
$18 in my little, your little, not a piggy bank, but like you can put
Yeah.
cash for like, for my vacation. There's
No,
probably
it's
like
probably
$18 in there for me.
I'd say it varies a little bit in amount, depending on if I'm winning or losing. But it's probably like $500 or $600 right now.
Wow.
So it's probably about time I put a little bit back into the bank account.
Probably. Does your wife know?
Yeah, she does.
Okay.
It's not even that. It's not well hidden.
She has
or anything.
access to the
Yeah.
the
If
stash.
she needed like $20 out of it, I'd never probably know that it was gone. I would say.
Okay.
I'm not that protective of it. It's
Yeah.
just like, people like if you're in a couple, I don't think it's a bad thing to have a shared bank account. I also think sometimes it's a nice thing to have a like you have your money still.
Where do you stand?
So that
Where do you stand on
when
this?
you're doing your things, you still there's not some stupid fight if you want to spend $80 on
Yeah.
something you want.
No, I agree. I think you should have two separate accounts. And then if you want like one joint account and you decide like, okay,
the bills.
every month this is going into that
Yeah.
account, but then you have your other accounts for like the things that you want to go out and do, or, I want to go out to Target. I want to go,
Yeah.
I should be able to pay for that myself.
I'm telling you, man, when you get into serious, that's the move. Have a joint account for everything that you're agreeing that you're paying for jointly. I don't care if that's rent, groceries, whatever, and then have your own money. Because you don't want to have to be like, every time you're putting $200 in your betting account, you don't want to have to explain the money coming in or out. Also, when you have your own account, if you win a bunch, if you have a windfall of cash, you also don't have to explain that. It's just there.
So you want to keep it? You want to keep money?
It's not a secret. It's
I mean,
just
it is, but what you just described.
The winnings are only Cody's.
Yeah.
To me,
as long as
that's it's a hobby.
Non-shareable.
No, it's a hobby. You have a hobby, and it could earn you extra money, or you could have less.
Text line's correct. This is like you with the show fund. For all we know, we have a show fund. We have a bank account for the show. It's under his name.
It has at any time had thousands of dollars.
It has.
It doesn't now.
And yeah, we
spent it all on this video equipment.
Oh, okay.
But we don't know. We joke a little bit because we have no idea. For all we know, Cody has a bunch of money. We have no idea. But he's got the tax liability. I said, you can handle that.
Absolutely.
I'm the only one who has a debit card to it, so I guess it's fully my money.
Are you the most responsible?
I mean, I think only because I have a house and kids, it seems that way. Okay. In reality, probably not. I mean, I try to be, but, it's hard being an adult sometimes.
It is.
Someone says hearing this conversation helps me understand why the divorce rate is so high in this country as well.
I've been married for 10 years.
Yes. You guys
I just celebrated my 10-year anniversary of being married.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And
you guys have been together much longer than that, too. So.
Almost 20.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
We've been together.
There were a
That's
few
amazing.
people giving their pitch, McKenzie, on the text line.
Oh, boy.
I don't think the text line's going to be the way to achieve this, but someone says they're single, 41, and they have 2 kids. I don't know if the 41 was a nod to 41,
To
actually,
41.
the 41 KSHB.
Or is that just a convenient?
Thing. Someone else says that they have no way to DM, parentheses, I know. But I'm back in the dating scene and would love to meet for a cocktail / app or two.
Oh my God.
What's the first date that you're like, if someone says, hey, would you like to go out? What would that be for you?
I don't know if I have a certain place that I would like to go, but I do think it's awesome when someone doesn't just message you and be like, hey, what would you want to do? Like, do you want to
They
go
just
out?
make a plan.
Like they're saying like, hey, we're going to meet at Jay Rieger for drinks.
Sure.
Are you free at 7 on Friday?
So you want somebody to tell you what to do.
Honestly,
Okay.
it's way easier, especially for a first date. You really want to go back and forth and haggle
Right.
over what's a good first date versus
Texting, yeah.
you want to meet at Electric Park and get a cocktail outside at 7.
Absolutely.
That's the move.
Someone
Such a
said
great
they're
place,
stunned. Someone said they're surprised you're still single since the last time you joined us.
It was only like 2 months ago.
It wasn't. Yeah, what? It was not that long ago.
You two are the only men in my life that I make time for right now. Besides my brothers. Sorry.
There you go.
Okay, my dad.
There you go. Well, how is things going though? At 41, because since we last talked, I think you've got a promotion since then, right?
I did, yeah. I'm doing full-time sports now, which is so exciting, and I love it. But now that it's football season, I was just talking with you guys about this before the show. It is nonstop busy. Like, we've got high school football tonight. I'm going to be at KU tomorrow. That stings a little bit.
I know you
but,
enjoy that.
Whew. I am excited, though. It's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be a close one, too. And then we'll be at Chiefs on Sunday. So it's just busy. It's fun. I love it. It's what I love to do. And now I get to hang out with you guys more often.
We've spent a lot of time on this show trying to break down the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift thing. Is it really happening? Are they communicating? Or is this one of those things that neither publicist denies because it hurts neither party? I
Right.
think they've texted. I have almost no doubts about the fact that they have communicated with each other.
Taylor Swift is such a plotter. Like, don't you think it's just a PR stunt and they've like agreed to like kind of keep this going?
It
then again,
benefits both.
Yeah, it does. But they're both like in the spotlight so often. It's kind of like, I don't know if they would really need a PR stunt. But also, Taylor Swift does not seem like Travis Kelce's type, right? Am I the only one that thinks that? Like, she couldn't be farther from what I would see Travis.
But she also hasn't been dating guys like Travis Kelce either.
True.
Her whole vibe has been a completely different type of guy. Maybe that's why it works.
I don't
change it up a little bit.
I don't know. But the news about they've been texting and they're dating and this and that, like, honestly, I'm going to be probably the only person to say I'm kind of over it already. Like,
you're done.
Yeah,
You're done with this.
I'm tired of hearing about it.
I'm fully invested.
But I'm not a Swiftie. I don't hate Taylor Swift. Like, she's fine. And Travis Kelce's cool, but like, I don't really care if they're dating or not.
What kind of music do you listen to?
We're enjoying this
Not a
story.
Swiftie.
I think when I saw you guys last time, I was getting ready to go to the Blink-182 concert. So that's like more my
That
jam.
was my
but
favorite band growing up. Blink.
they're dropping a new
182.
album.
They have a new song out.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. New
I
album.
listen to a
Next
lot
month.
of Blink-182.
Thinking of
as a kid.
songs, McKenzie.
Oh boy.
Have you heard
Wait,
Cody's?
you're gonna do this now?
Have you heard Cody's song about the Taylor Swift Travis Kelce?
No. Oh my
So,
gosh.
I
Is it
want-
one of your raps?
We are.
This is a song.
Oh.
We are definitely enjoying the Kelce Swift rumors and everything, and I think you're right. It doesn't hurt either side to let it continue to linger. Certainly, if you're Travis
Yeah.
Kelce, to have your name mentioned with the biggest star
Yeah.
in the world, perhaps. but Cody made a song as if he was Taylor Swift to Travis Kelce.
That's correct.
Oh, my.
Right?
Do you want to play a portion of it?
You have it pulled out.
Have you played it already?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I just missed it.
It debuted last week. Yeah, but it's top of the charts. Apparently, you're not aware.
Debuted along with their relationship. Yeah. Okay. Soft launch. This is more like a hard launch.
Yeah, here, I'll play a portion of it for you. So you
you don't want to play more? Okay.
Well, I mean, it's hard to play the whole thing. We want to talk to McKenzie.
Okay. What do you think Taylor would think about this?
She could say, I probably could use some vocal lessons on this one, but, I'm working on it.
I think the lyrics are great.
She's all about writing.
The lyrics are great.
I think
you needed someone else to sing it, I think, but the lyrics were great.
All right, Drew, take the club music down for just a minute so we can give McKenzie a
Text line's typing all caps, no, don't
Let's
play
hear
it.
Tough. You asked me out for the hell of it. Addicted to Taylor, but you're right for it. I was never gonna turn you down. Cause if you dare, we'll be a pair that everyone begged just to get there. It's gonna be profound. And I'll keep my eyes on the Chiefs team. Every bit of Andy's scheme. Cause Kelce is my boyfriend. Kelce is a god. Kelce and me hold hands on the weekend. Kelce has an amazing bod. Aren't you envious that for you it's not sweet like honey? Kelce is a catch. Coming to my show cause he loves me. Making catches like an acrobat. Me and Travis vibe like that.
Oh, that's a hit.
See,
that might be one of your best ones yet.
The lyrics are great.
That was good.
The lyrics are great. It's hilarious.
I think you get better. Your voice. Every time you come up with a new rap or song, you sound fabulous.
I think
I'm
if
all for
I practice singing, I could be semi-decent at it. I just don't practice it any time in between when I do
Maybe
this.
start singing to your kids at night.
I want to join like a choir or something. I don't know.
All right, so you're
amazing.
So you're out on the whole Swift Kelce thing. We already
I
heard.
just don't think it's real.
Okay.
I don't know. You guys have seen like who they've dated in the past relationships.
Yeah.
It just couldn't be any more off to me. Unless they're both like, hey, we are not like working out with our previous relationships and the types of people we've been dating. We're totally switching it up. Then I could be like, okay.
Who's your celebrity crush?
My celebrity crush? Ooh, probably.
Are we going to go back to Blink-182? You're going to say Tom DeLonge?
No, I was going to say like Channing Tatum.
Okay.
Ooh, you put me on the spot.
He was single in the last year or so, too,
I think he's remarried, maybe.
Oh, already?
I don't know.
I remember he got divorced at some point.
He did get divorced.
That's all I know.
I don't know.
I don't keep up on all my celebrity
this
gossip.
says, he wasn't married to Jenna.
He was married to Jenna
Dewan.
Dewan. They were from Step Up. Remember that movie?
Yeah, I do.
Zoe Kravitz and Channing Tatum are in a relationship.
They're together. Okay, they're not married yet.
There you
There's
go.
still
You still
time
got a
for
chance.
me.
You still have a chance.
That could still fall apart. He could get divorced another time. You don't know.
Let's talk a little football for a little bit, though. Chiefs Bears on Sunday. We've been saying, though, it's like there's no reason to believe the Bears should have any chance in this thing on Sunday based off of you just go through the roster, the turmoil this week, everything off the field. I said, though, because of that, it almost makes me a little more nervous because everybody thinks the Chiefs are just going to go in and just kick their ass on Sunday. What are your thoughts on the Bears? Because they're terrible.
I'm nervous, too, I will say. Even though all the drama out of Chicago this week and just how bad they've been, I feel like the Chiefs, we've seen them play down to their opponents, and they've already been struggling a little bit through 2 weeks, and I just am not thinking that we're just going to come in here on Sunday and
I don't
blow
think
them
they have
out.
a single favorable matchup. By the way, the stories get worse in Chicago.
What happened now?
The Bears now, according to reports in ABC7 in Chicago, are now trying to track down equipment that was stolen
Oh my God.
at Soldier Field. The manager of the field said the stolen equipment, including gators and lawnmowers from the parking structure at the NFL stadium, estimated loss over $100,000.
How do you steal those out of the stadium?
I guess you just back them into
Drive
a trailer.
them out?
Yeah, but who was the guy? You guys might remember, we say that like you would think it's secure. Within the last 5 to 10 years, didn't somebody drive their car or something inside like Missouri's basketball arena or something?
And then tore up the field a little bit,
Or where was it? I'm missing up the exact
did?
details, but was it?
Yeah, it was Missouri's, I think.
Missouri's football stadium or something?
I think basketball.
Or basketball?
Oh, my.
Something, right? You guys know what I'm...
Yes, I know
something
what you're talking
along the
about.
line. I don't know the exact
The text line I
details.
don't remember.
So over $100,000 of equipment stolen?
That's what they're saying. Man accused of driving car onto Missouri basketball
There you go.
court.
Okay, that's what I thought.
He did over
How do you get your car
$100,000 in
in the
damages and
arena?
well.
It happened.
Apparently, there's more space than you think.
It happened.
It had to have been like an employee or something.
But to steal,
right?
like, it's one thing to drive It's one thing to drive your car there, but in Chicago, in this case, they were able to clearly have some help, and they stole a bunch of lawn equipment from the Chicago Bears, basically.
Stole gators and lawn
that
mowers.
organization's a mess. But on the field, I mean, we think Justin Fields is going to be way more mobile than he has all year. Like they're gonna let him use his athleticism.
Yeah, they need to let him loose. He's been not very fun to watch in the nicest way. I think they got to let him loose. They got to let him do his thing and see what happens. I mean, it's not like it can get any worse, right? I mean,
that's the thing.
They're a desperate team.
They took away the one thing he was good at and then said, stop doing that. They gave him one designed run for a guy who ran for almost 1,200 yards. He was like the 6th leading rusher in the NFL last year. You're like, well, what if you just did that less? You're like, that's the one thing I'm definitively great at. Why would you take away that skill? To me, that never made any sense. That idea that you would take away his rushing ability. I know you want him to be a better passer, but you just got to work on that at the same time we did with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts still runs.
Sure.
They just also worked on him as a passer. I don't understand why you wouldn't go that methodology.
I understand why he was blaming the coaches earlier this week.
Yeah, he backtracked quick, though. You've been around.
He was hugging his offensive coordinator in video.
Yeah,
at practice.
a little too far.
Yeah.
Trying a little too hard.
But you've been around and covered sports long enough. You know whenever the team makes a player available twice in the same day, you know they don't like the messaging whatsoever.
PR.
And that's what happened there in Chicago. As far as the Chiefs, I mean, we know the offense and the wide receivers are still kind of the story. Tony was back at practice today. We'll see what official status is for Sunday. We know that Richie James is going to be out for a little while with this knee injury. The wide receiver room, they had been having 7 active wide receivers. Do you think this in a weird way might help them whittle down the rotation a little bit for this week? And who do you think benefits the most from those guys maybe not being available?
Honestly, I think it would be MVS and Sky Moore that would benefit the most because they're going to get out there more and they're going to get more comfortable in the offense. Not that they're not comfortable right now, but we looked at it at the beginning of the season like, oh, we're keeping 7 receivers, the most the Chiefs have ever had with, Andy Reid. But quantity doesn't, that's not better than quality. And to have so many receivers that you can like throw in and out of, the offense, still who are the top receivers? We don't know. So I think with some guys out, it'll give other guys more time to play, and maybe Andy Reid will see that who those top receivers are going to be. But we got to figure that out.
We had Paul Charchian, who's like a fantasy football expert from Guillotine Leagues on. He thinks MVS, and you mentioned him. He thinks he might be the biggest benefactor. The Bears have so many rookies in the secondary, deep threat. Maybe MVS is in for a big game.
I don't think it's out of the question. I mean, again, we're going to do our show bet here shortly, and I like the Travis Kelce number kind of as a result of this. But no, it's not out of the question. They're bad. It's hard to imagine. I'm like the only person who, at this point, I know that there's a lot of reason to think this game is going to be close. It's not. The Bears hold 0 advantages outside of if they let Justin Herbert run. That's it.
Or Fields,
Or Justin Fields. That's the only advantage
they couldn't use Justin Herbert. There'd be a lot better chance of winning this game.
They probably still would stink because the rest of the team's no good.
Yeah.
They've got no wide receivers. Their only good wide receiver is going to get locked down by Trent McDuffie.
Yep.
They have one of the worst defense in the league. They only have 2 sacks through 2 games. They've let up 10 sacks. The Chiefs' advantages right now are they get sacks and they don't let up sacks. You're losing in every conceivable matchup category. Of course MVS might go deep because Patrick Mahomes might have all day to throw. All day. He might just stand back there and do nothing but sit there and wait till he can throw it 70 yards to MVS.
And I feel like if you give him 10 yards to kind of beat his receiver, then he's just going to take off. I mean, he's the fastest receiver we have right now, MVS?
Yeah, probably.
No, I think he still is, yeah.
I mean, I remember Sky does have some speed, but he doesn't have straight line speed like that. Tony might be the answer if he's
dealing with a sprained toe, and my guess is he'll be questionable for Sunday's game.
There are only 2 players who didn't practice at all today. They were Nick Bolton and Richie James. So Tony did practice in some capacity, which makes you think decent chance he'll play. But here's the thing.
Probably limited snaps,
I know we're making a big deal because we just talked about the number of games Kadarius Toney could play. But his injuries are already been a part of the problem. He's played in 3 games, and he's not going to play more than 20 snaps in any of the 3 if he's been injured all week and then gets on the field for Sunday. So, yeah, he's playing, but he's played the equivalent of 1 game worth of snaps in 3 games because of the injuries.
Yeah, Tony, I still think with where he fits in this offense, anytime he catches the ball, it's hard not to get excited because he's different when he catches the ball than anybody else.
Sure.
It's noticeable, right? When he catches the ball, it's just different. Nobody else cuts as quickly as he can. You can see why the Chiefs, how it's difficult for them not to believe that he can be their number one wide receiver, because if he's available, he is their most talented guy in the wide receiver room.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the battle I think that they have to figure out as the season continues. We've got McKenzie Nelson from KSHB 41 hanging out. It's Club 610, presented by Jay Rieger & Co. We'll need your help here. We do a show bet on Friday. The show fun that we mentioned.
Yeah.
All right.
It comes out of there.
We hit our bets last week, so we'll see if you can help us out. There's a couple that we're considering. Cody already filled us in. He wants to bet the over, right? On Kelsey.
Travis Kelce's yardage, which is 74.5.
Okay. Oh, it's up to 74. It was 73.5.
Or maybe it was 73. I think 73.5. Sorry. Had to look.
What's your feel on that? Kelsey is practiced all week.
I'll take the over.
It seems easy.
He's cleared at 15 the last 20 games.
He has. I think you have to convince yourself that he's good to go. He's not going to be in his own mind limited at all. He's easily irritated. Is he actually, is he irritated? Yeah, he was, right?
See, now you have me second guessing, but at first I'm like, oh yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Well, I'm just trying to think of the.
I can poke holes in your bets too.
I know, but this is when we bet, we've tried to talk out what the negative reasons for it as well. You can't just think it's all going to always hit. You got to talk out what could lead to it not hitting. And I'm saying, is he still not right? That's all.
I think it's good. I think, Cody, you're good on this one. I think he didn't play week 1. Last week, he was, he had his touchdown.
He wants to impress his possibly new girlfriend.
Totally.
Totally.
And, Patrick Mahomes relies on him so much. He's going to go to
Difference
him.
maker,
And
clearly.
he's going to be open. They can't hold him, right?
And Tony's they have no defensive ability to do so.
Yeah, I think he's going to be wide open. I think he might even have 2 touchdowns and maybe more.
Okay.
Taylor Swift is going to send him a good morning boo text with a winky emoji, and that's where it's going. I'm telling you.
You think Taylor Swift sends boo? Do you think she uses emojis?
There's no way.
She's a
I'm sure
30-year-old girl. She uses emojis.
Emojis, but I don't know if
Emojis
she's
for sure. I don't think she says hey boo.
Yeah, I don't think that's it. But the emojis, absolutely. Now to Travis, I don't know.
She might say boo.
We don't know how far along they are in their
Do you guys
relationship.
see how I re-upped from the good luck in the game to good morning boo? I don't know.
All right, so you're going Kelsey. That's for one. Are we going to separate these, or are we doing a parlay this week?
I think let's do a parlay. Let's do it old school.
Okay.
Let's put all of our bets together.
Okay. All right. Well, so I'm going to go
Take our
outside of Kansas City for this one. Depending on where we're at, I think we can get the Colts +8, +8.5.
Okay.
So Gardner Minshew's the starting quarterback, not Anthony Richardson this week. Anthony Richardson.
You think that keeps it closer?
I actually think it helps the Colts for the short term. Long term, they need Anthony Richardson to be their guy. Gardner Minshew looked really good when he came in. I think Minshew gives them a better chance. They're playing the Baltimore Ravens, by the way. Colts, I don't think are necessarily winning this game, but I think it'll be pretty close. +8, give me the Colts on the road against Baltimore, who has a banged-up secondary. So I like Indy to cover the 8 points.
Hasn't the Ravens offense been very good?
They have
so
looked
far?
good at times. Yep. Their defense is the question. And I think Gardner Minshew gives the Colts a better chance to win this game.
Yes.
Again, I just need them to cover. I don't need them to win. Just cover the 8 points. They can lose by 7. I don't care.
Okay.
Did I sell you or no?
She sounds less convinced than mine, I'm gonna be honest.
Definitely.
She sounds less convinced.
No, I'm good with it.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
We got to get Drew's on the other side,
All
I
right,
guess.
yeah, we'll get the final leg of this parlay for our show bet. We're hanging out. It's Club 610, presented by Jay Rieger & Co.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com. Tune in to hear Andy Reid every Monday at noon, exclusively on your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
Whether it's a healthier weight or better poops, when people switch their dog's food from kibble to the farmer's dog, the effects can feel like nothing short of magic. But there are no magic ingredients, just real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need. Instead of dried pellets, it's simply smarter, healthier pet food delivered to your door in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Find out what it can do for your dog and get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic. This season, your coffee orders are getting warmer and your outfits are getting cozier. The world keeps changing, and so does COVID-19. That's why this season's COVID-19 shots have been updated
vaccinated. They're one of the best ways to help protect yourself against COVID-19. You can get a COVID-19 shot at the same visit as a flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Talk to your healthcare provider to learn more and schedule at vaccines.gov. And don't forget to get extra cinnamon spice. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Hey guys, it's Carrington from The Drive here, and I'm like you. After work, I like to chill at the other place where I can sit down, grab something to drink, and I want to catch up on all the games. And if you're looking for somewhere on game day, if you don't have anywhere to go, then stop by the other place where they have a perfect game day atmosphere, which makes you feel like you're at the game. The other place, Shawnee, Olathe, the downtown Overland Park, and opening soon in Mission and Belton.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and there's a lot of reasons why you should buy from us. Locally owned Subaru retailer in Kansas City. And you'll want a Carfax history report, of course, and a comprehensive multi-point inspection. And your first maintenance is free. Best of all, every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. You'll fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
This service contract is not provided or backed by the manufacturer of the vehicle. The manufacturer of the vehicle is not responsible for the claims or repairs under this service contract.
Kevin Harlan here. Ann and I loved our new Champion heating and cooling system this past summer.
Our house was always a perfect temperature, and it was so quiet. The humidity control worked like a Champion.
And Annie, our energy savings and lower bills came true just like Champion said they would.
Now we're looking forward to keeping our family warm this winter with our Champion Premium Furnace.
Find your local Champion dealer at ChampionHomeComfort.com, and don't forget to ask about their free 10-year parts and labor warranty. Always leading, ChampionHomeComfort.com.
Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options that include spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/610Bob and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL and of 610 Sports Radio. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Want a new car at a used car price? I'm Jeff Davis, owner of Volkswagen Lee Summit. Right now, we have a surplus of new cars, so everything is seriously discounted.
Get up to $4,000 off the 23 Taos, $5,000 off the 23 Tiguan, $6,000 off the 23 Atlas, and up to $10,000 off the ID4 EV. Hurry in before we run out of 2023s.
Don't miss our surplus sale at the #1 Volkswagen dealer in the Midwest. Visit VWLeeSummit.com.
Based on 2022 VW retail reports. Financing through VCI OAC. Call 816-841-7383 for details.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
If you or someone you know is suicidal or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides connection to free confidential support. There is hope. The Lifeline works. For 24/7 support, just call, text, or chat 988. Sponsored by ComCare and Rediscover.
Chickies and Pete's Crab House and Sports Bar is now open. Voted the #1 sports bar in North America by ESPN. Great food, seafood, handcrafted burgers, wings, and a game day experience for all ages. Located in the new expansion at Bally's KC. ChickiesandPete's.com.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results, and every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
When you get hurt in an accident, who do you think of? You think of Mike.
Everybody knows that.
After my wreck, I remembered Mike's got this. And his team got me $375,000.
Hurt in a car wreck? Think of Mike.
Mike's got this.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love.
I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My check engine light's on?
That could hurt your gas mileage. The AutoZone free Fix Finder service can help find the fix for free.
Get in zone.
This whole report for free?
That's right, printed and on your phone for free.
Get in zone.
But what if the fix is too tough?
We'll recommend a local shop. Fix Finder, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
O'Reilly.
Increase your vehicle's performance and gas mileage with Lucas Fuel Treatment at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Simply add it to your tank at your next fill-up to eliminate carbon and varnish deposits. Get 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Treatment for $10, plus 2 times O Rewards points. See your O'Reilly Auto Parts store for details or shop online at O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Max Motors. 9 major vehicle brands to choose from. MaxMotors.com.
Max Ford Hyundai of Manhattan is proud to be an official partner with K-State Athletics. We're passionate about helping you with your automotive needs. Visit MaxMotors.com to learn more.
Back here, it's Club 610, Cody and Gold. It's presented by Jay Rieger & Co. We've got McKenzie Nelson from KSHB 41.
What's
I had to correct Cody earlier on our rundown. You know, he had 41 Action News. I said,
That's the old one.
We did want to ask you, though.
I broke my headphones, by the way. So if Drew tries to talk to me, just let me know what he says.
All right, we'll get. I don't
know what happened. I broke the headphone jack.
This one's flopping right here.
We'll get Drew's leg of the show bet in a second. Real quick, though, while we're on the topic of 41, we were discussing the promos that you guys do and TV in general.
Oh boy.
How this comes to be, because they're always very cheesy.
Uh-huh.
They're either people grilling and smiling at a tailgate, or it's you jumping up and down with a sign at the tailgate. Go Chiefs, 41. What's the story
I was reliving my high school cheerleading days, okay?
What's the story? What's the story behind these promos? They're all very cheesy.
I just do what I'm told. If they want
Do
me
they
to
work?
do a cartwheel.
They're trying to make you guys just seem like happy, friendly, approachable TV people?
I guess.
Okay.
I mean, I am pretty friendly as right?
I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree.
I think if you look at all promos around town and just in news, they're all very cheesy, happy-go-lucky.
Yeah. But why did we decide that this was the methodology to convince people to watch local TV stations?
I'm not really sure. But I'm
bribery
also
work
not the face.
better?
I'm not the face of the station, so I'm not in all of them.
Who's the face of 41?
That would be Kevin and Dia and Mick and Mike Nico.
Okay, so a bunch of faces.
So it would be our sports director and then our 2 main anchors and our chief meteorologist.
Okay.
They would be considered the faces. And then we have obviously like our other anchors throughout the week and stuff like that. They're involved in a lot of promos.
So can I have the cell phone number of the chief meteorologist? Gary Lezak used to provide me weather updates when I needed them in regular life. I can't count on him anymore. I need the new
messaged Mike
chief
before.
meteorologist.
He's a KU guy.
He is.
Would he respond to it if I just said, "Hey man, I got golf this afternoon. What's the scoop?" Would he give me?
I don't have his number, but I can get it for you.
What? You don't have his number?
I don't think
Well,
so.
he's probably like 8
since,
months
like,
or something,
December, right?
Okay.
Super nice guy.
Yeah.
I just don't have his phone number, but
I think he was out in Cali before, wasn't he, or something like that?
He was in San Francisco. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's
But
what I
he
thought.
is from the area, big KU guy. He'll be out at the games. I think he goes with his wife often.
Nice.
So yeah. But he's cool. I'll get you his number.
There you go, Cody. Cody wants a meteorologist. Cody wants a meteorologist on call.
Sometimes we need it for the show, you know?
Absolutely.
You never know.
I can hook it up.
What if we're going to have this show's had outdoor wiffle ball games. Occasionally we would like a more personalized weather update.
Absolutely.
I don't trust the apps anymore. They're like maybe 10% of the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like today, it said it was going to be raining until like 8 a.m.
Well, I mean,
and it was raining
dark.
until
when we started the show, it was dark out. Now it's sunny. It looks great. Good to go. I think it's supposed to rain again tomorrow, though, when you're out in Lawrence for KU BYU.
You going to be out there?
I will not. I have an event Saturday evening. Otherwise, I wanted to go to the game. It's going to be a sellout at the booth. Sellout at the booth, you know?
And you're not going to go?
I know.
Do you even like your alma mater?
He's not going, but I am.
The K-State grad over here.
You unfortunately had to go to the K-State game last week.
I know. Man. I'd already forgotten about it. Jeez.
Sorry.
All right, Drew. Drew, let's hear your leg of our show bet, though.
All right, so I'm taking Jordan Addison over 50.5 receiving yards. They take on the Chargers. Chargers gave up 36 points week 1, 27 points to the Titans in week 2, and Jordan Addison also is averaging this year 66 yards through the first 2 games. So he gets about 5 to 6 targets, tend to be long passes, though. 19 yards per catch is his average. So I feel like he's got a couple of quick hitters in him.
It does feel like a shootout, right? Vikings defense sucks. Chargers defense sucks. Both teams are desperate for a win. They're both 0-2.
They're literally the same team.
We were joking earlier. We were joking earlier that they're just going to tie because they can't hand the game to the other team enough.
Absolutely.
We actually technically have $2 on that as part of our show fund. We have $2 to win like $160. So he likes Jordan Addison. Is that what I heard?
Yeah. So if we parlay the Colts +8, Addison over 50.5 receiving, Kelsey over 73.5 receiving, what does that kick out to on our parlay? I think we're going to get you to make the bet here.
I guess I am in charge of the money, so let's
tax purposes.
By the way, during Andy Reid's presser, he was asked about KU and BYU.
He was because he's a BYU guy.
He said, I love BYU, but I also love Kansas, and I bleed blue, so take that for what you will. Couldn't even pick a side.
What a political answer.
He's cheering for BYU.
Yeah, he's a BYU guy.
It's okay, Andy.
All right, if we put those 3 together, they've got the Colts +8 here, so we're not going to get that half point. Sorry. Over 73.5 for Kelsey.
Okay.
Over 50.5 for Addison. We can get it +561 if we put them together.
Okay, so what are you doing? $10 or what?
Yeah, $10. That's what we normally bet.
What, over
on this
50?
show. We sometimes do two $10 bets. You just keep it to one.
Let's just do the one.
What's the payout if you put 10 on it?
50 something.
Yeah,
56.
50 to win. Well, 56 in profit, but 66 total.
How often do you guys win your bets?
We won both last week.
Ooh, okay.
So
On a roll.
last year, our success rate was not particularly high, but we tried to keep it too Chiefs specific. It was hurtful.
Yeah.
The first week, we only placed 1 wager and we lost. Last week, we placed 2 and won both. So this will be a 3-pick parlay. Slightly longer odds, obviously, because we're doing a parlay together.
Right.
Okay.
We're
Make
putting
the
those 3
bet.
together. We're going
Make
to take
the
our
bet.
chance.
Make the bet. We're hanging out. It's Club 610.
Oh, we won 3 bets last week, remember? Because I accidentally forgot to cancel that Pacheco bet. So we bet on Pacheco both.
Amazing.
We forgot
Look
to
at
bet.
you guys.
We bet on Pacheco over 40.5, but then we had decided we wanted the alternate line instead of over 50.5 for plus money. So we technically won 3 bets last week.
There you go.
I'm proud
Club
of you guys.
610 presented by Jay Rieger & Co. We're drinking the Martinez.
It's good.
It's very, very good. I got to be careful here a little bit.
It's like straight booze.
Sipping.
Yeah.
Well, martinis are a little bit more like that. They're like you're just drinking alcohol on top of alcohol on top of alcohol.
I've almost polished mine off, but yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Very, very good.
Somebody earlier was being very critical of me, like, Cody, look how you're getting after it a little bit. I'm like, relax, it's Friday. My work day's
It
almost
is
over.
Friday.
McKenzie still has to work a little bit.
Today is my Monday.
Oh.
What? Oh, you start your work week on Friday?
Fridays. Yes,
So
my
your
off
days
days
off
are
are
Wednesday,
Wednesday,
Thursday.
Thursday?
Exactly.
I mean, that's not
weird
bad,
couple of
though.
days off,
That's not bad, though. Right in the middle of the week.
Whenever it's restaurants, my days off are like Tuesday, Wednesday, and it was always a bit. It is nice for. I'll say this for any errand running, it's great because
Absolutely.
like going to the grocery store at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday,
Nobody's there.
it's all to yourself. No problems. You got to deal with a couple of gray hairs. That's it. Outside of that, you can just move on about your life. You can run errands or go to the doctor. You don't have to worry about like that kind of stuff.
Just, anything fun. That usually doesn't happen on a Wednesday or Thursday, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I can get all my errands done, right?
That's true.
You want to do fun things too in your life?
That's true.
We should start planning fun things on Wednesdays.
Yeah, come on.
I don't know. I can't think of anything fun that happens on Wednesdays.
Me
That's a
neither. It's
decidedly
okay.
not fun day.
How horrible is it, though, to be like waking up on a Friday, like, oh, God, it's my Monday.
Yeah, I mean, that would take some getting used to.
Right?
That's
I did that
brutal.
for a long time.
Were Fridays were your Monday?
Up until I had this job, I worked nights and weekends almost exclusively. This job is the most normal hours I've ever had. I had a job where I worked 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. I bartended, so you know that that's not. You know that that's Fridays and Saturdays. I mean, I was the Royals insider here before I did this job, so that was that. In that job, you work like 200 days and like 210 days, and then you're just off for 3 months. So that one makes no sense. I don't know.
I just never know what day it is.
I
when
went to the
wake
bank
up.
for 3
Like,
months.
That's the thing.
That was it. Yeah.
Okay, so you had a normal schedule for a little bit.
For 3 months. I hated it. I didn't like the hours here are great. I can't complain about that.
What time do you get here?
We get here between 8 and 8:30, and usually we're home by 2:30.
There's work
we
to
work
do
on the
at
show.
home, but-
We work on the show the night before mostly. Well, by the time we come in, we already know,
You know what you're
most
doing.
of, unless there's breaking news or whatever. Thinking of that, like yesterday, we started our show, or yesterday or 2 days ago, and right at 10, the Royals put out that press release about the stadium. I want to talk about that a little. What do you? So one, push back again. We don't know Jackson County or Clay County for the stadium site. April's still the target for a vote. What's your feel on this whole deal? Do you prefer a certain spot?
I think the stadium, if obviously the Royals are getting a new stadium, but I think it has to be downtown. I think that's where you have to put it.
I'm with
We've
you.
talked about it for I don't even know how long. And if you're going to give them a new stadium, make it downtown. That's what started the whole conversation, was moving it downtown.
Agree.
Because
Cody and I
of a
are-
monetary element to this.
Yeah,
I
well,
would rather be downtown.
Yeah, I mean, downtown baseball, let's put it downtown,
Right.
right? And look, if they ultimately choose Clay County, it's going to be great.
Yeah,
it's
it's
going to be
fine.
awesome. The rendering looks great,
Yeah.
no doubt. And I think they actually have some more creativity allowed in that site than they do maybe in the downtown site. But I'm with you. Like, downtown baseball, let's put it downtown.
Right.
As far as, like, where it's trending, I think if the Jackson County site, the Chiefs are tied to it.
Right.
You know, and so that to me makes it almost like a like you don't have to even worry about the vote passing or not if the Chiefs are tied to the Royals project. Clay
No, it
County
makes
is
it
trickier.
easier. Well, it's trickier, but also like probably a more interested tax base to pay for it.
A higher rate, though.
Jackson County's
1
been
cent.
paying for it for decades and decades and decades, and so some of it's probably that. Like I imagine Clay County, it's in a weird way easier to pass on your own than if you were on your own in Jackson.
Right.
The reason why it's easier to pass in Jackson is because the Chiefs are going to also say it. I also think I will die on the hill that is the Chiefs are getting off way too easy in this. They're saying nothing, and they want the exact same thing. And they're saying, we were like, Royals, you're not saying anything. Chiefs have said even less. And they want, according to John Sherman, to be on the same bill in April as the Royals, receiving the same benefit as the Royals.
The reason why I think
in
the
this,
Chiefs
and they're
have
saying
gone away,
nothing.
the Chiefs have gone away with it, in my opinion, because depending on what the Royals choose, that will also dictate what the Chiefs' ask is.
They also don't have infrastructure needs, the Chiefs. They don't need the city to like reconfigure how to get in and out of downtown just to do it. But
Right. I don't know. I think the Royal Stadium, I want to see it downtown, but obviously I won't be voting on it. I don't live out there, but
Right.
You're
I
on
don't
the
know.
Kansas side?
I'm on the Kansas side. But I just think the whole conversation started because so many major cities have downtown baseball parks, and it's, something that we wanted here, and Coffin was getting old, and I just think you got to put it down there. I mean, that was the whole draw to downtown, was having baseball, having the T-Mobile Center, and, Power and Light District, and stadium's only going to make it that much more fun to be down there. Catch a game, walk around downtown.
Why are people upset with this Ferris wheel that's at Penway Point or whatever? Did you see it's lit up now? They lit it up this morning. When it was
they
dark.
did? I haven't seen it lit
saw,
up.
I saw a live shot of it.
I don't know. I mean,
People hate
I'm not
change,
getting
I
on
think.
it, but
You're not getting on it.
Absolutely not.
Why not?
No.
I will not. You
It's
could pay
a-
me $1 million and I won't get on it.
It's part of a
Wait,
new.
because of how quickly it went up, or just because you're afraid of heights?
Both.
I don't like heights, so I don't like heights either. But I'll go on this. It's part of a new entertainment district. I don't know why people are against this project.
I think because they wanted the money to go somewhere else, right? I'm not super
Right,
up
but
to
people
speed on this
people wanted the
whole
money
thing.
for the new airport to go
Wait, but
somewhere
then
else.
this,
as well,
this
though.
wasn't publicly financed. This was a private person.
Was it?
Isn't it?
I'm sure there were probably still some tax incentives or something.
I don't know. That's just how things work.
I don't know. I just saw social media up in arms about this Ferris wheel.
It cost $25 million, the first phase.
The Ferris wheel?
I got to be honest. I'm a little
Yeah.
concerned that a Ferris wheel that costs $25 million goes up in like 37
170
minutes.
feet. It's 170 foot tall, heated, cooled gondolas that would be operated year round.
Oh.
A tailgate park with yard games.
Why?
Redevelopment of a 100-year-old building that was just sitting vacant.
Okay.
And eventually some residential units and a first floor retail.
I'm all for like
seems
bettering
good.
the area and, bringing more things to the area for people to do and stuff like that. And it's a draw. But I just didn't know why. Like, I wasn't
think
following
it's
it.
not just the Ferris wheel thing. It's I think there's other development right around it in that area that they're planning on doing.
So you're going to get on it.
I will. Sure, why not?
You got to be honest though. From like a general standpoint, maybe it doesn't work for you, but generally, that doesn't seem like the worst first date either.
A Ferris wheel?
Well, think
Well,
about
you
it.
go
You
get
go down
dinner,
this thing.
you go get
You go
dinner.
have dinner or a drink down at this little area. You get on the Ferris wheel for 10 minutes. Perfect opportunity to chat for a few minutes.
I watch too much true crime.
I'm
not getting on the Ferris wheel, especially on a
It's
date.
It's in a gondola,
It's
though.
something about the enclosure part of it. You know what?
It's
this
in a
might be one
gondola.
of those. I'm
Have
a
you been to
man,
Vegas?
So I
before?
didn't
I've
think
been to
about
Vegas,
You
and
know
I've
they have.
never got
You know
on
they
it.
have the even a much bigger version of this wheel. I can't remember the name of it in Vegas. It can drive me crazy. But it's like it's
Eye
this,
or whatever.
Vegas. No, that's the Sphere thing. High Roller, Las Vegas observation wheel. And it's 550 feet above, and it has like these giant gondolas as well, but it holds like 10 or 15 people in each one. So it's huge. This is a much smaller version of that, of course.
I mean, I don't love heights, so that's probably
Well,
like
neither-
one reason I won't
neither
get on
do I.
it, but I also just am not a big
You think it's ripe for some sort of
catastrophe.
misconduct? Wait, no. You weren't talking about engineering catastrophe. You're talking about a completely different kind.
No, I think it's fine. I think it's cool. Everybody that wants to go get on it, get on it.
So you're
but I will not be there.
Hey,
How much
so
true
for
crime do you
those
watch?
of you,
Like Law and Order true crime or like true crime?
Oh, like Law and Order.
Okay. All right. So those of you that are DMing McKenzie, do not suggest the Penway Plaza Ferris wheel
Yeah.
for
The
the
text
first
line
date.
earlier said, just take her on a Wednesday night for drinks and the driving range.
Yeah, I'd do that.
There you go. There you go. All right, we do have
That's
to.
a normal thing.
We do have to get our NFL picks before we get out of here. It's Club 610. McKenzie Nelson from 41 joining us in studio. We're hanging out on a Friday. NFL picks, though, brought to you by T-Mobile. Whether you're home or away, T-Mobile keeps you connected to Chiefs Kingdom all season long. We'll start with you, McKenzie. How's Sunday playing out for the Chiefs and Bears?
Oh, the Chiefs are going to win. You want my score prediction?
I do.
Oh, like 35-14.
Okay, so you think the Chiefs cover,
So
no
after all
problem.
that, it's a blowout.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to do some damage.
Okay.
But I think it'll start off slow.
Yeah,
Like they just start off slow.
I expect the Bears, their first drive, actually offensively to move the ball. I really
Yes.
do. I think there'll be a different look. I do think Justin Fields and the Bears move the ball initially. 28-17 win for Kansas City. They don't cover the 12.5. That's why you should tease the game down to 6.5 with another game. The Chiefs win comfortably, but early on, I could see in the first quarter the Bears march down the field and get 3 or 7 points right out of the gate.
I think, what was your final score you said?
28-17 Chiefs.
Okay. I think it's 34-10. I just don't.
24-point win.
Yeah.
Take the alt line.
I
Take
think
the
it's
alt
gonna be a
line.
big
baby.
win.
I don't think it's close.
I don't either.
I want to talk myself into being close because the Chiefs play in these close games and it happens. And I understand that that's going to be a part of multiple games for them in a season. They hold every advantage matchup in the entire game. Again, outside of Justin Fields' possible rushing ability, which they also, if Nick Bolton plays, and we don't know yet, he didn't practice today, have the best linebacker unit in the entire NFL. So they are more equipped than most teams to handle, and they have good safety play and really great tackling corners and Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson. Like, they're supposed to be built to handle running quarterbacks now, even more so than they used to be. Maybe I'm way off here. It just feels like everything's like the world is crumbling on top of the Chicago Bears anyway.
The Chiefs
I might
defense
as well
has been
pile
really
on.
good too.
No
through-
doubt.
Like, I don't think we're worried about them. I do think this is going to be a chance for the Chiefs offense to figure it out. And
Hopefully.
because they were so slow and had so many issues through 2 weeks, I think this could be the game where they just get it together.
31-13 is my prediction. Chiefs. Of
So you
course.
guys,
Ooh.
so I'm
We all think it's a
everybody
blowout.
else thinks it's a mock
Alex is
blowout.
the only one.
What's funny, by the way, in the
hold on.
NFL, I'm saying the Chiefs are winning by 11. That's still a lot of points in the NFL.
Hater, they're not even covering the spread.
They're not. That's why you tease them down. Look, the Bears are a mess. You guys are right, and they just had over $100,000 worth of equipment stolen from their football field as well.
They need a win.
overnight.
They need a win.
In addition to their coach
They are
quitting
so
and everything
desperate.
else.
They are so desperate. It's a make or break year for Fields. Their head coach is on the hot seat already. Their D coordinator resigned and is being investigated by the FBI. I mean, it's an
It
utter
is
mess.
not fun over there.
No.
Their
Their stadium sucks. They're trying to figure out where they want to move.
I
It's
couldn't
not a
think of
good
anything worse than being a Bears fan. We have one in my newsroom. And
do you? Who's that?
Kevin Holmes.
Oh, is it? Is Kevin?
He's from Chicago. Big
Kevin.
Bears fan, and he has got to be, I'm sure, just depressed, right?
Yeah, that's not good.
We have to check on him
That's
often.
not good.
We had Michael Massey, and I feel bad for all
Yeah.
Chicago Bears fans. Right?
Yeah, we did. Thanks again
And
to.
I just bet the Chiefs minus 20.5. So.
Okay, alt line. There you
Okay.
go.
You know what?
We
Might as well go for it.
appreciate Michael Massey, Royal second baseman, big time Bears fan, joined us earlier in the show. Obviously, Pete Sweeney. McKenzie Nelson, great to have you back for another Club 610.
I'm happy to be back. So much fun.
Presented by Jay Rieger & Co. Hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. We'll talk to you Monday right here on 610 Sports Radio.